right, here we go. Check, one, check, two. Hey, everybody, what's happening? All right, and the sound's working all right. I don't hear myself back to myself. It's such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. Good to see you. Fixed my stuff for the most part. Hello, chat room. Hello, people. It's Houseworks Megaworldwide. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, such the stuff going on in the world. Johnny Million, thank you for the raid. I appreciate it. There's a raiding party. You know, I was asked the other day who my favorite raider was, and I instinctually said Belloc, but I honestly think it's Johnny Million now. At this point, now I know what you're thinking. Hal, he's the only raider you have. All your other friends on the internet who you've lovingly sent raids to over the last year and change that you've been able to do it, they haven't reciprocated. They haven't sent the love back. I know. But I'm just going to write it off as that they're cyber illiterate and don't know how. I'm just going to wish them the best and hope for it and assume the best kind of stuff. Thank you guys for thank you for saying hydrate. Appreciate that, caretaker. I will do indeed just that. Stargal, thank you for the sub gifts and the ad time and all that kind of stuff. And you guys are lovely. Oh boy. One of these days, my Twitch streams will be large enough to rate. I appreciate that, Liberal Dan. I appreciate even the concept. Although I think I'm on earlier than you, so I don't. You can't do retroactive raids. Although you can host me on your page. I think is that how the other thing works? I don't know. I've only done it a couple times. Okay, someone photoshopped dildos on Trump's hands when he's doing the weightlifting gag. Oh dear God. How do you not? Okay, so hi chat room, welcome, good to see you guys, love ya. So much going on today. Let's jump straight into it if we can. Don't forget to like, subscribe, thumbs up, share the show, all that kind of stuff. If you're joining us late, I can't say I blame you. Hold on, I'm gonna back this one video up. Where are we? Yeah, here we go. Bink. There you go. You guys might be familiar with this dude. This is a guy who at some point, I'm fairly certain. Don't quiz me on my history right now, but I'm fairly certain he or one of his many body doubles, or perhaps someone he was a body double for, ran Russia at some point for a certain amount of time. Thanks, Liberal Dan. Sparkleversary is your Sparkleversary. That is awesome. So he apparently came out finally after he gave his speech in the same room, same space, same everything, saying, we're going to get these guys, and nobody does that to me, and come in here, you copper, see? And like that, I'm paraphrasing, of course. But he's had a change of well, I was going to say heart, but I don't know that there is one. He's had a change of pancreas. No, I don't even know if that's working at this point. He's had a change of bowels about the whole thing. We don't know. I'm a bit concerned, but we'll find out on and don't forget to subscribe, by the way. Thank you for becoming a member. You guys are wonderful. Here we go. He's going to set it all straight, guys. It's all cool now. Everything's forgiven. 12 dead airmen. It's not like, look, Russian pilots are cheap. Did we learn nothing from the movie Firefox? All right, here we go.
External threats and pressures.
Oh, hold on. I got to back this up. They just pick up the middle.
And remarks by the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. Let's listen.
Splitting apart the country, which is now facing colossal external threats and pressures.
He seems happy. He seems all right. Colossal external threats and pressures. Pressure! Dear God! I mean, it is of my own doing. And I make problems of my own.
When our comrades are dying at the front lines, holding on.
By the way, thank you, Aaron West, for the super chat. By the way, they're not just dying at the front lines, dum-dum. They're dying in the back when your own guys shoot them.
Whatever the cost. But the mutineers betrayed their country, their people, and they betrayed those who they dragged into this affair.
I see. So the people who started this shit and ran the whole thing, the guys behind it, they dragged these unwitting participants into this thing. They had no choice. They were shoved in front of them. You guys do this. I don't like having to do this, but you're going to like it even less. Let's get this done. And those guys are the extra bad people. That's why they get money and a new job and exile. And the guys who they shoved into it get folded into the Russian army and sent back to the front line to be cannon fodder. It's a great deal for everybody. What could possibly go wrong?
Who they pushed to shoot at their comrades.
They pushed. They didn't have to push very hard, it seems.
It is this fratricide that the new Nazis in Kiev and their Western masters wanted to see.
No, actually. Fuckstick. Nobody. We don't want regular order Russians to be killing regular order Russians. We don't even want them engaged in this shit. And just because this reminds me of Trump's bullshit. They're only coming after me because I'm between them and you and your freedom or whatever. Like the idea is that they're only attacking me because they want to attack you. Nah, if we wanted to attack them, we just fucking do it.
And the various traitors as well.
Okay, good. So apparently Prigozhin's on our side now. No, thank you. Not interested. Rooting against you is not the same as rooting for him. So piss off.
Wanted to see Russian soldiers kill each other.
No, really don't. Really don't. I mean, at this point, we don't really have much of an emotional investment. When it happens, we kind of go, oh, look at that. But none of us are going, if only.
They wanted to see Russian servicemen and civilians die.
Also, no. Again, I'm getting a distinct level of projection here. What about you guys? Dude, I'm not even sure you're wearing pants when you say this. So, yeah.
And ultimately to see Russia defeated.
Well, the Russian government at this point, and only because you started this shit. Like, Georgia, Chechnya, you taking over, none of us felt this way. You do realize, like, everybody in the 90s were like, they're having concerts now. Russia will be a buddy. This will be fine. And then you had to fucking be you, didn't you? Just could not be you. All right. What was that story Trump always tells about the snake biting a lady on the tit or whatever it is?
And the Russian society split apart and in a bloodbath.
All right. Not really. If we want it split apart, we would argue that one side's good and one side's bad. And I mean, are you presuming we want one side bathing in the blood of the other or something? I don't know. Again, this feels like projection. Look, normally I will say I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum, but fuck you, yuck. And secondly, not my fetish, that's yours.
They didn't want to take responsibility for failures in the war and with the so-called counteroffensive, but they miscounted.
So they're rooting for this guy who did this all on his own, the traitor, which you called him. They did this on. This is all his idea, but they were rooting for this and hoping for this to hide the failure of the counteroffensive, which is not fully started, but whatever. So were they just counting on? Did he call him first? Did he send a memo? I don't know.
The law enforcement authorities and the military were loyal to their oath and to their people and to their duty. The courage.
Well, some of them did duty right in their pants, so that is true. And the Wagner guys, I think somewhere in the order of a couple thousand of them, killed 2 border guards in a shootout. Those 2 guys tried to stand up to the Wagnerites when they were coming, possibly because they thought they were Ukrainians or pro-Ukrainian Russians, like attacked in Belgorod. And those guys are, what time is it? They're dead. Yeah, they're dead. So, but what do you write a personal, like, fuck you to their families? Do they get a note or just, maybe send one of those, like, drone displays over their house? They had it coming. Something like that? I don't know.
And sacrifice of the pilots who died prevented a tragedy on a national scale.
So so that's why you're just letting the guy get away with it. Okay, good. All right. There was a moment where I was like, okay, the pilots died and their passengers. Don't forget, one of them was a transport plane. Unless you're just routinely flying empty transport planes to battle zones, but it's not my business. Not my business. So what you're saying is those guys died in vain so that you could give the people who attacked your country a pass, who were traitors, but you're only doing this because the West and the Ukrainians and everyone else was rooting for these guys to succeed. So now that they've killed some of your pilots, you're going to let them succeed in a different way, just by, I guess, retiring. You're going to give them a retirement plan. So that's how you get around, in Russia, that's how you get around charges of treason. Just kill more soldiers. That's how it works. That's the plan. Whew. He's a tough guy. I don't know what to say. He's a tough dude. It's tough. This is the kind of tough. I mean, I can't even fathom this level of toughness. Can you? I mean, it's so tough. It's like almost anti-tough. It's like he's gone through tough to what's the opposite of tough? All right.
At the same time, we know that most soldiers and commanders...
Most. Yes, by volume. I mean, if you count all 25,000 of them in the Special Forces Brigade that joined them, in the 183rd, I think, that ultimately joined them. Pardon me 1 second. I have an important call coming in. Hi, sorry. I had a mild familial summer hurt her ankle, I think. So, anyways, I have to pick her up with the store. It's not important. Anyways, well, back to where we were. She's fine. Be all right. Okay. No tuna for Chud. Absolutely. Well, all right. Back to where we were. This idiot. So, where was he? Oh, yes. You were saying something about how these traitors came into your country and they tried to tear the fabric of Russian society apart, and everybody on the outside was cheerleading them. The evil Westerners that were against you were cheerleading them. They wanted to see a bloodbath of Russians, and you were just getting to the point where these guys you're going to let these guys go and give them a lot of money, something like that.
Of the Wagner Group are also patriots of Russia, loyal to their state.
No, if they were loyal to their state, you wouldn't have to pay them as mercenaries, stupid. They'd be in the regular army.
They proved this with their courage in combat.
Yes, their combat against dump trucks parked on the M5 or whatever the fucking road is there. Just the courage they showed in taking over Russia's own military installations inside Russia. I guess there is a certain amount of courage to that. It seems like more of a foolhardy kind of a courage. I mean, I wouldn't go more than, I'd stay on the first floor of most buildings from now on. It's just what I'm saying.
Liberating the Donbass and Novorossiya, they were used blindly. They were thrown against their comrades with whom they fought shoulder to shoulder for its future.
Thrown against their comrades for whom they fought. So, by who? I guess by Prigozhin.
So, since the very beginning, I gave orders to prevent bloodshed, and we needed time for that.
Hey, you don't get to like cop the other dude's lines. That's what Prigozhin said. Prigozhin said he was going to avoid bloodshed by stopping. You don't get credit for that, dummy. They shot your helicopters and your airplane down while you were trying to bomb them. That wasn't an attempt to avoid bloodshed, stupid.
Including to give an opportunity to those who realize they've made a mistake.
Right. Everybody gets a second chance in Russia. That's great. Just look at their prison system. You could totally tell. That's just, what can we say about Russia? But it's a very forgiving place.
To rethink their decision, to realize that they're putting society at risk, and that this is leading to destructive consequences.
Yeah, that didn't occur to them before they attacked their own country by driving a column of military trucks in and taking over a city. Guys, has anybody thought about the secondary ramifications of such crazy, I'm fucking with you, keep shooting?
As a result of this reckless affair, I thank the soldiers and commanders of the Wagner Group who made the only correct decision and refused to engage in the fratricide, and who stopped at the last line.
Who stopped at the last line after they had engaged in fratricide for like 16 hours. The only reason they didn't kill more people is because a bunch of those guys greeted them and said, come on in.
Today, you have an opportunity to continue your service to Russia.
Yeah, I trust him. What more do you need? Where do I sign? What former Wagner guy wouldn't take this deal? Come on in. It reminds me of one of those things where they give you a free TV set, Congratulations, you won a free TV set to go with your warrant. Chat,
By signing,
Except, it's more like when a mafia guy walks into a basement because he thinks he's going to be made and there's tarp on the floor.
a contract with the Ministry of Defense or other authorities, or go back to your families.
Yeah, just go back to your family. That's what. Why don't you just go to sleep? You look all tuckered out. Maybe just a nap for a little while. You're having trouble sleeping? How about this? What? We know you attacked the country and you took over one of our military installations and shot down 3 of our aircraft and killed 2 of our border guards, and we had to blow up roads to keep you from getting to Moscow. Just go back to your families. It's early Christmas, okay? Yeah, it's Christmas. And what fuck time is it? All right, well, it's Christmas in June. Thank you, Jackie.
Those who wish may go to Belarus.
Yes, you can go home. You can go to Belarus. You can go straight to the crematorium, or, if you just want to cut out the middleman, climb right into the oven yourself.
The promise I gave will be fulfilled.
Uh-huh. These guys they just don't know the name Navalny, or no, they just don't keep score. Maybe
I repeat, the choice is up to you. But I'm sure that this will be a choice of Russia's warriors who realize their tragic mistake.
Yes, that's what to do. These guys who were talked into attacking Moscow suddenly went, oh, what was I thinking? Oh, I thought you were kidding. I thought you said we were going to attack most cows. And I was like ready to get my game on.
I'm grateful to President of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, for his efforts and his contribution to the peaceful resolution of the situation.
Peaceful resolution? What? You what didn't they get besides your head?
But I repeat, it is the patriotic spirit of people, the consolidation of the entire Russian society, that played the deciding role in these days. This support allowed us to overcome this hard challenge. Thank you for this.
What?
I'm grateful.
That's it? Yeah, I understand the look on your face, ma'am. It was the patriotism of the... What? It was the patriotism of the roads to let us blow them up so that there would be giant holes, making it difficult to go around. And it was the patriotism of the average Russian person, allowing me to siphon off $200 billion into my own personal accounts as someone who makes $140,000 US in my job as president of Russia every year, so that I can shuffle some money through 5 bank accounts and call off this animal because I was afraid he was going to bite me right on the testicles. So we want to thank the Russian taxpayer for subsidizing this dude's golden parachute before he drove one of those trucks right up my poop chute. Fucking hell. Just lame. And there's still a bunch of people, I would like to say for the record, who think that this dickhead planned all this. This would be in human history the worst example of I meant to do that ever. Fucking hell. You're watching Housebark's Megaworldwide. Now, on to another idiot, and a cohort of the guy we were just seeing before, who, I don't know if you've noticed, but lately has gone from, in the last year and a half, teaming thousands of supporters at rallies all across this country, outdoor, oftentimes at, I guess, private airfields, because they can't hold everybody he pretends is coming. To now, Republican dinners that any candidate could get relatively the same response at. So that's, Shazam. And apparently, I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but he's cut down on flags. Yep. Used to be, I think, 64 flags up there. 64, 65, whatever they got. And now he's down to 6. He's just got 6. And I know what you're thinking. There's 6 flags up there. There's 3 on either side of them. Therefore, 3 times 6 and 666. And this is a sign of Satan and the red lighting behind him. He's trying to get a kind of a, I don't know, like a mauve version of the evil Biden, dark Brandon lighting. Ever the poser. But no, ladies and gentlemen. This is the standard lighting for the GOP's Lincoln Day dinner live. None of this is pre-recorded. You might think that because of the smoothness of how he talks, but I doubt it. I have not seen this one. Neither of you. Not all the way through, anyways. I hope. You poor person. But here we go. The only thing I did do was fast forward past the Lee Greenwood song because he doesn't understand that it's a long song, and he still comes out midway through the first verse. And then he walks around like Mussolini for fucking 2 minutes. It's so weird. His people love it, though, so maybe he knows something about them. Like the cut to one of his advisors holding up a boombox with scream sounds on it into a microphone. Get the camera off me. There's that guy, whatever your name is. Front row Joe's. Okay. All right. Okay.
Thank you very much.
And then it goes from this big roaring applause to, thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Patriots of the
much,
thingy
Lisa.
thing.
It's great to be back in Michigan. We love Michigan.
We love Michigan. So good. It's great. Michigan. They have the Grand Rapids, which are bigger than the Small Rapids.
The amazing Patriots of Oakland County.
Of Oakland, and they wrote it in there big.
And tonight I'm deeply honored to receive the Oakland County GOP's Man of the Decade Award for the second time.
And for the second time in the same decade. And even though this decade has just started, you know, they don't know. It might be a great decade. It might suck. Who can say? I may not want it at the end. I may be a terrible decade. Who can say? This might turn out to be a shit decade. I might have to return it. He was so mad that nobody covered his damn Man of the Decade award from Oakland County, Michigan. Who else was in the running? I mean, at least dunk on the people. Nobody got it. Nobody else from Oakland, California, or Oakland County, Michigan. I always get it mixed up. This one's a lot wider than the other one, but that's pretty much how I tell them apart. Oakland, I got it. Hands down, the most, this is the best, it's the best. I got it, I was far away, I was 40, 50 points ahead of the number 2 guy, which was Garrett Cunningham, a local plumber who's lived here his whole life, who saved the mayor from drowning. Good act, but nobody likes the mayor, so I got it. Who came in second? Like to congratulate Garrett on coming in second. He was so good. He's delivered. He's the Obi guy to the town. He's delivered every baby in the whole place. He's also the barber, cut everybody's hair. But you fuck one sheep and you come in second. Okay.
Second time, wow.
Wow, that's great. From President of the United States to Man of the Decade in Oakland County. I'll put that right on the mantle next to my picture of me with Kim Jong-un. Oh, what an asshole. Okay, here we go.
Almost 10 years to this day.
It's funny that I never... I didn't get to be president twice, but I have been reelected as the Man of the Decade, so that's a bigger term, if you think about it.
Ago, it was a great honor. In 2013, I received it, and I remember I got up and I said, how come you're allowing them to take away your car business? What did I know, right? But I was right about that.
Literally, that was after the bailout that rejuvenated the entire thing, and the Republican Party ran against the auto bailout, dummy.
But it's really an honor to be with
so good, so good.
you. I want to thank Oakland County Republican Party Chairman Vance Patrick, great guy. Great guy.
So good. Vance came in fourth, the Man of the Decade, with good reason, because apparently he came in fourth, but he lost the grab him by the pussy part of the competition, and I'm way ahead of everybody.
I recognize Michigan State Senators Jim Runstad and Jonathan Lindsay. They're great people.
They're so great. They're great.
I broke their ass.
All right.
From the bottom of my heart, they gave us a beautiful endorsement. We appreciate that.
All right. Listen to that sentence again. Do you mind?
Great people. Thank them from the bottom of my heart, they gave us a beautiful endorsement.
Thank them from the bottom of my heart. They gave us a great endorsement. Okay.
We appreciate that. Michael and so many of my friends are sitting right out there. Thank you very much. Michigan GOP Chairwoman Christina Carano.
I don't know, maybe.
Christina Carano is
Christopher Columbus, Christopher, huh?
a hard worker. She's working very hard. She wants
Is she? Well, I mean, I'm glad she's on brand as a hard worker. She's working very hard.
to keep this as a very honest election. Not easy to do.
Yes, there was a lot of cheating. Dominion machines were used in the Man of the Decade competition. There were a lot of these ballots came in from, they were covered in bandages. We knew they were from China, but I won anyways.
The great senators, one of the most powerful people. By the way, an incredible football coach. He was an incredible football coach, and now he's an incredible senator. Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Where's Tommy? Tommy! He's an incredible man.
Yeah, he's blocking the head of. We don't have a commandant or whatever for the commander for the Navy right now because of that asshole. He's just blocking people. It's from Alabama. Why the people of Michigan? Is the Michigan senators not going to come?
Thank you. And they love him in Alabama.
Ah, they love him down there. He didn't get much applause up here. He doesn't get much applause. He could get a lot of applause, but he doesn't. In Alabama, they love him. There's people lined up around the block.
I love him all over the country.
They love him long time. What?
Somebody that really put up a good fight, fought very, very hard for Governor Tudor Dixon. Where's Tudor? She's a terrific
Oh, he means she lost.
person. And
She's so good. She's so good as she's as good as a loser could be. She's as good.
fought hard.
She fought hard and lost.
A friend of all of ours and a very well-known person in Michigan. He's a great restaurateur, Mark Zarkin. Thank you very much, Mark. It was a fantastic job. The food is very good, Mark.
Would you have to get a name check because he catered the thing for free?
We could use him in a lot of our cities all over the country. If we could get a little younger version, he doesn't mind when I say that. I said what this city needs is a young Rudy Giuliani, and he's here. Where is he?
Ew.
Where is Rudy? Rudy, you're fantastic, Rudy.
He's so fantastic. He's just, what's the word? Fantastic. You could, if I didn't even have to point, you could smell him.
Greatest mayor in the history of New York.
Well, the greatest one to ever give someone COVID by farting on them. I mean, in that category, he's a man who stands alone.
And also our friends with the Dominican fathers and sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary.
That's a lot.
They're with
Wait, what's this title again? Run this by me again.
Mm-hmm. And also our friends with the Dominican fathers and sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. They're with us tonight. They've been
That's a lot. That's a big name. That's a guy that needs. Is that hyphenated?
with us right from the beginning. They're here someplace. Thank you, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right from the beginning. And by the way, you see Biden
Yeah, it was them and Jeff Sessions. How's he doing?
now, the real Biden on religion. He's not in favor of religion.
Goes to church every Sunday, fuckhead.
He can talk all he wants, but what they've done to Catholics and what they've done to
He is a Catholic, stupid.
evangelicals, what they've done to every...
What have they done? What can't you do as an evangelical? Do you have to? Is the government forcing you to have an abortion? No. Are they making you gay? Do you have to marry someone? Like you have to marry? You have to perform same-sex marriages? No, you don't. Do you have to be in one? No. Is it no? Any of the have all the mega churches shut down? Are they anything? No.
Everybody is a disgrace. So the sisters got it long before anybody else, and we appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for forgiving me for grabbing you by the pussy. But again, I guess you don't have any choice. The Lord makes you.
Thank you, all of you, for being here. It's a great honor. For 7 years.
How? How is it a great honor? Explain it to us.
Years all of us have been fighting side by side to rescue our country from the sinister forces who truly hate our country and want to destroy it.
You know, I mean, obviously not talking about Putin and Kim Jong-un.
And now we are approaching the most important battle of our lives. This is the most important election we've ever had, without question.
Yeah, I think the first one you got elected, a lot of people thought it wasn't, and then they realized you got in. They're like, oof.
On November 5th, 2024, we are going to stand up to the Marxists, the communists, the fascists.
All 9 of them?
And the globalists. And we're going to win. We're going to win. We're going to win big. We're going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House. You notice I took the word away. I retired the.
Oh my God! Yeah, I stopped calling Hillary that, and now I call Biden that because crooked is it? Because I'm. I guess you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Is that what we're using?
Word from crooked Hillary Clinton, because I felt that Joe Biden needed it much more. He's crooked Joe. We're going to finish what we started, and we will make America great again. We will.
Hello, bullshit.
For decades, the globalist vultures in Washington viciously betrayed Michigan workers and families like nobody can even believe. And
like nobody even saw it. You guys lived here and you didn't even see it. Nobody could believe it, and yet it happened.
They threw open our borders, plundering your factories and shipping your jobs to foreign lands. Sometimes
by they, I mean largely the Bush administration.
Sometimes to lands that you've never even heard of.
Because you're uneducated. You didn't go to Wharton. You don't know these things, you stupid. And thank God I love the stupid people. I call them uneducated, but I really mean stupid. There you go.
Michigan lost nearly 40% of all manufacturing jobs, everything after the NAFTA catastrophe and China's entrance into the World Trade Organization. Yeah, sit down, everybody. Yeah, sit down.
Yeah, you've heard this before. Your knees are gonna go if you stand for all this. I'm going to basically say the same 3 things over and over and over again. If you try to stand, you'll probably collapse.
I'm excited to be here also. Sit down. We'll be with you for a little while. Sit down.
We'll be with you. This is gonna be a while. Oh boy.
Out and enjoy it. I think everybody, great. I'm very honored by the fact you stand, but you sit down. Thank you.
This is where we go back 5 minutes and everybody's already sitting, 80% of them. So he wants the front 2 rows to sit down because the front row Joes showed up and they're blocking everybody.
But after years of cruel...
Sit down. It's a dinner, and you have desserts coming.
Sellouts by past...
Don't clank your forks on your plates during my speech. Just do it when I say MAGA. That will get noisy, and then you can eat really quick, and then you stop.
Leaders, you finally got a president who put Michigan first and put America first. It took a long time. And
yeah. Now explain why Republicans were against the bailout and Obama was for it, and why the big 3 were salvaged, and why Biden's for union jobs, and why the auto workers are supporting him. Anyways.
Just as I promised, I saved the U.S. auto industry from total destruction.
I did. People were going to put the whole industry in one of those things that squashes you into a block, and I said, nope.
And I talked about it 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
And then Obama did it, and I was like, I should get credit because he did it, but I said it after he did it, but then still.
Talked about it for a long time. What they've done, they've taken almost 50% of manufacturing ability and brought it into other countries.
50% of manufacturing ability.
All the gear that you had to teach these people.
And then, by the way, I love that in the middle of this, the ad that comes up is
invest in gold. You got money sitting around. It's not going to be worth much. You want gold. It's so nice and it's shiny. And even if it's not worth anything because it's just a pretty rock, your trophy wife might want you to, mash it flat into that really fine stuff and put it all over the furniture.
Other countries are making cars now at a level that nobody can believe. I ended the disaster.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it. I'm just not going to. Some of this has to be true. So I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't. The level they're building cars, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Anything over 25 cars a day, bullshit. I don't call not.
Known as NAFTA, the worst trade deal ever made, and replaced it with the best trade deal ever made, the USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada. The USMCA is creating tens of thousands of jobs in the United States.
It didn't do it while I was president, but magically, when Joe Biden is in there, that's when it's coming. It's doing really well.
And it's just been amazing the way it's worked. In fact,
it's amazing. It's worked so good. Even the communists can't stop it. Joe Biden has turned us into communism, but USMCA is so strong. It's so strong that even Marx would have gotten a job working at an auto plant. Lenin himself.
The jobs are so strong here that Mexico and Canada want to renegotiate the deal. Isn't that nice?
Also, no, they don't. Again, USMCA is a mild modification of NAFTA. He just wanted to change the fucking name. Everybody was was talking about like modifying it for a long time. But the 2008 crash, that was actually on the agenda for Obama, but the 2008 crash kind of punted it, you could say. But the variations on it are so fucking mild.
Tommy Tuberville says, isn't that
he's here, he knows. He's a guy.
nice? Because we have had bad deals, every single one, but with tough new requirements to ensure more cars are made in American factories by American workers, and it's happening right here in Michigan. And this had nothing to do with the Democrats. They're going to end it.
Yeah, they're going to end it. That's the thing, Democrats. We got to stop people from making cars, especially in Michigan. You know what I mean? I know a lot of you liked Obama, voted for him twice. I know I did, but I don't know why he had to save the auto industry. I guess it was just to put it off so it could like set him up for a big fall. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I think that's what he was doing. Obama saved the car industry just so he could super embarrass them by letting it crash later.
They want every car to be all electric, except you don't make all electric cars too much. You know who does? China.
Also, the big three make plenty of electric cars, and one of the battery factories is in Marjorie Taylor Greene's district in Georgia. I showed this earlier, but like go look up China EV graveyard.
China makes them.
They make boo. Chinese people, they make wind-up cars as well. They make cars that you crank the thing in the back, and then they go a little while, but they don't go very far, and then you got to get out and crank it.
The deal was so good that Mexico and Canada now,
want to renegotiate it?
as I said, are working very diligently
They put it in the speech anyways.
to destroy that deal and replace it with a deal that's very much in their favor.
They want to do MCAUS. They want to turn it all around on us. They don't like USMCA. They want MAUSC. Why? Because they hate us.
do it.
See you real soon.
Biden administration, don't do it.
Don't. I told them not to do it, and it didn't happen, so they're clearly, I'm still president.
Yeah, but nobody actually wanted.
Never mind.
When I took office, the job-killing Trans-Pacific
No means no, even if I don't believe it.
Sorry, we're never going to get through this.
was set to slaughter U.S. automakers. It was slaughtering them. It was going to be a disaster. I stopped it. I vetoed it. I stopped it in its tracks.
Wait, slaughtered what? Hold on. What'd you stop? Give me a second. I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Do you? Hold on, wait.
Mexico and Canada now, as I said, are working very diligently to destroy
Very diligently, together.
that deal and replace it with a deal that's very much in their favor. Don't do it, Biden administration. Don't do it. When I took office, the job-killing Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Oh, TPP. Okay, I didn't hear that part because I was too busy laughing at his. Yeah, TPP. He got paid by China to get rid of that. Prove me wrong.
Was set to slaughter U.S. automakers. It
No, it wasn't. It was literally a deal to contain China.
was slaughtering them. It was going to be a disaster.
It's going to be a slaughtery disaster, disastrous
So I
slaughter.
stopped it. I vetoed it. I stopped it.
Yeah, interestingly enough, and $17 million showed up in a bank account that you have in China the very next day, and you took $15 million of it out in cash that night. Weird. That's 3 times the alleged bribe that supposedly Biden got that nobody has receipts for. Weird.
In its tracks. Every worker and supplier at Ford, GM, and Chrysler
Owes me their fucking job, and if you don't vote for me, you ingrates, this whole country deserves to go down the shitter.
would have been crushed. They would have been out of business. It would have taken them out of business.
Taking them out of business, that's what happened.
Nobody
Yes, it's true, Stargal. Yes. Trump got paid $17 million after he killed TPP.
understood it. Now they understood it. Joe Biden and Ron DeSanctimonious were both all in favor of it. But we stopped it cold. If I hadn't, you wouldn't have any auto production in Michigan, just as
Again, what? TPP didn't have anything to do with auto production, you asshat. What? If anything, it would have slowed down China's advancement in the EV market. Not even close. What? Look, I don't even know who in that audience actually believes this shit, and if they work at an auto plant, actually, they know it's not true, so they've got to be sitting there, whatever, I don't care. As long as he doesn't like immigrants, I don't care what he says the rest of the
I
time.
promised the people of Michigan, I withdrew from, it's called TPP. Nice
He's just saying it again?
name, TPP. I withdrew on day one. I totally renegotiated Obama and Biden's horrendous Korea trade deal, one of the worst trade deals. But I renegotiated it. It would have flooded our market with foreign pickup trucks and cars, decimating your industry.
That's right. The Hyundais, you just can't. All these Hyundais would have just bulldozed everybody. Nobody would want a Trans Am or a Corvette or a F-150 anymore when you can get a Hyundai.
Did it, and I made it into a great deal. It's now a great deal for you. I also placed historic tariffs.
Again, how? Like what? Lighthizer did that, and they were already. This was shit that had been going on for decades.
On all foreign aluminum and foreign steel, which saved your steel industry. Otherwise, you wouldn't even have a steel industry.
If I wasn't president for 4 years,
Yeah, Hyundais are made in Arkansas. That's true, Doc, in Paradise.
but again, they've got a funny foreign name, Doc, so, you could tell. I mean, that's the thing about Koreans. They steal your jobs, even if you have them. The jobs, I mean, not the Koreans. That's not allowed. Not yet, anyways. I'm working on that as well. Hang out.
Jesus.
And if you don't have steel, you don't have a country. Like borders, like elections, you got to have real elections. We don't have real elections.
Now we gotta have elections and borders and steel and
Rubber helps. Rubber's good. Rubber's important or whatever. Corn. You can't. If you don't have corn, you don't have a cookout. If you don't have a cookout, you don't have a country. That's the rule. I don't go to those things because you have to wear shorts, and I keep getting thrown out.
We have fake elections.
How the fuck do you think I became man of the decade twice?
Can we just say that, like, today's kind of special because you have two guys, this guy, neither one of which thought that they would be having to say what they're having to say in front of the group of people they're having to say it to at any time in their life, much less so soon. Like, why am I have to do this? I'm worth $200 billion. I could be fucking May Musk right now. Yeah, I mean, in a consensual relationship, by the way. I'm sure. Jesus Christ. Both of these idiots are like,
I'm winning. I just got to stop losing first.
I stood up to China like no administration has ever done before, bringing in
But what do you mean, barely?
hundreds of billions of dollars pouring into our treasury from China when no other president had gotten them to pay even 10 cents. China.
Again, I don't know where he says even 10 cents. It happens all the fucking time. Of course, we've had tariffs with China before. What are you talking about? They're still on.
Never gave us anything except
They never got us anything.
lip service. And when China targeted our farmers, which they did viciously and violently, I said to our Secretary of Agriculture, what's the damage that they did over the years?
What's the damage of my trade war with China? How much of are our farmers losing? And he said they're losing like $28 billion. So if you call Xi Jinping, he can devalue his currency and just write you a check, and that'll assure your reelection, and then China can get a great deal out of it. And then I'm just saying, as soon as you finish your second term, you're walking straight through the doors of Trump Tower Beijing, Trump Tower or Shanghai, bunch of golf courses over there. I mean, if you look at the Chinese economy, it's smooth sailing from this point forward.
It was $28 billion. So I gave our farmers $28 billion.
And it's not socialism. It's just think of it as buying votes, which is what could be more capitalist than that.
From China. I got it from China, straight out of the tariffs.
Think of it as like they paid us $28 billion so that they could infect us with COVID, and it only cost us 1 million people.
That China was paying $28 billion to our farmers. That's why when they say, how are you doing in Iowa? How are you doing in Nebraska? I said,
I bought those votes. I paid good money for those votes with Chinese money. They gave me the money. We worked it out. I had a call with Xi Jinping. We're very close. Little did I know he was trying to sneak a disease in, kill everybody. Found that out later. Don't like him so much now. But at the time, I suckered right into that.
There's no way the farmers are voting against me. I got them $28 billion, but you know.
Yeah, they were making that amount of money, and most of them weren't American at this point, but they fuck them if they don't vote for me because they're terrible people.
Never know, do you? Except we just had a poll come out of Iowa where I'm leading by 47%, so I'd have to...
Yes, in the Republican primary based on the Lincoln Day dinner in Des Moines.
I'd have to lose pretty...
Of all the Republicans in this room, and I'm the only one running for president that's allowed to be here in the same room. I don't let Ron DeSanctimonious anywhere near me. I don't let Ada Hutchinson. I call him Ada for a reason that I have up here, which is that I can't say Asa because of dementia. The S's and D's sometimes mixed up, and I just say them. I just say it. I always remember it wrong first, and that's why. But I say it like that. I'm here. Of all the people currently on stage, who's your favorite? And I'm winning by like 43 points.
Quickly. Now we're doing great.
We're doing great. That's a giveaway sentence, so you think? Yeah, it's super going. We're doing okay. We're doing, that's right.
In Iowa, we're doing great all over. Ron.
You're doing great. You're doing great here in Michigan.
Michigan gave us Motown, gave us Motown, gave us the Mustang. They said, oh.
Ron DeSantis opposed my China tariffs very strongly, and
No, he didn't.
simply put, he sided with the communists in China while I fought for workers in America.
Simply put, in deference to you idiots, who you'd have to be pretty thick to even be here. You're dumb. I can tell by your clothing. I mean, I've never had abs. I'm certainly never going to.
And success.
What is that shirt, ma'am? Why are you wearing a picture of me, my head on Rocky's body? I mean, I like it, but I'm not going to grab you by the Rocky crotch.
Successfully fought.
I'm getting loopy from watching this dickhead. So stupid.
Successfully like nobody has ever fought.
Like nobody's ever thought before. Nobody's ever done this before. Like nobody's ever seen before. Like nobody's ever done before. Like nobody's ever seen before. Like nobody's ever seen anything like this. And they've ever done anything like this before. Like fucking hell. How many times?
So successfully. No president has fought harder either for Michigan than I have. No president has ever fought harder. I saw what was happening from day one.
Nobody's ever done this. Except maybe, I guess, all the early presidents when we were just starting to have cars. No president, except maybe Hitler. He and Henry Ford were really, they were like this, and this was Hitler. He was on top. They were very close.
And sadly, none has betrayed
Thanks,
Michigan
Carl.
more than crooked Joe Biden. He's betrayed your state because he's allowing people.
He's betrayed your state, by the way. Your state is not safe.
And sadly, none has betrayed Michigan more than crooked Joe Biden. He's betrayed your state because he's.
Yes, your state has been totally betrayed. It's terrible. I don't know how he did it.
Allowing people to take away your jobs at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
At a level nobody's ever seen before. Nobody's ever done this before, like nobody's ever thought of, like nobody could believe.
You'll see it over the next couple of years, right?
You're not seeing it right now. Obviously, there's like 2 job openings for every person in the goddamn state, and especially black people in the state have never had a lower unemployment. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I would like to say, if there, in a couple of years, when I'm back in the White House, you're gonna see unemployment, boy.
Now you're not feeling it as much because of.
Yeah, because I did such a great job. This is such the Spinal Tap. Like, he was so bad, they were still booing him when we came on.
What we did, but you'll see it. For 3 years, Biden and his radical left allies have waged war on American auto workers like nobody has witnessed to this extent before.
To this extent, he's rewording. He started to recognize that he's actually saying the same shit over and over again. And he's,
To this extent, in these circumstances, at this level,
nobody's even listening. Like, he's saying the phrase so many times.
like nobody's ever said before.
3 years, Biden and his radical left allies have waged war on American auto workers like nobody has witnessed to this extent before.
Fucking hell. To this extent before.
In his ridiculous crusade to force everyone into electric cars.
How is everyone being forced into electric cars, stupid?
And by the way, they have a place. Right now, they're selling it about 5%. They have a place. They want them to sell it 100%.
But because we're a free country, they can only encourage things. Also, they're only available at that level. It's a new technology.
At this point, right now, the White House, the Biden White House, wants to force everyone to go to space. Right now, the only tourists that are going to space are rich people. But, you know, they're going to make all of you go to space. They're not even going to let you wear a spacesuit. They're going to what? You're going to wear one of those. Jeff Bezos is going to send you to space in a brown package.
But we don't have the goods to make them. You know who has the goods? China has the goods.
China's got the goods.
The goods. He means lithium. The goods.
China has the countries and controls the countries with what they need for the batteries. But
like what?
You know, we have more than anybody else, including
Gasoline, oil, I call it liquid gold. It's under our feet.
Saudi Arabia and Russia. We have liquid gold right under our feet.
What'd I say? Jesus Christ. Hey, man, don't even get me started, because just give me a straw, man. I'll get some of that. I'll get that, them oil fields is started for you. They always taught us up there, after we saw it opening that pilot show of Beverly Hillbillies, they made us learn how to start a oil well. How do you think I became king of the prom? Woohoo!
Biden has doubled the cafe standards.
Well, look, them fancy liberals like to eat at cafes. Me, myself, I eat at Mickey D's, buddy. Cafe. I don't understand that coffee rodeo stuff. Or coffee, you know what I mean? Them that coffee and bullfight shit they do. Cafe ole. Remember that? I don't understand that at all.
Costing automakers an estimated $200 billion, and that number is going up.
Yeah, that's too small a number, man.
And sending car prices skyrocketing.
They're skyrocketing all over the place. There's, obviously not in
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, skyrocket can go anyway. I will say that it doesn't stop being a skyrocket just because it runs out of steam and crashes. Remember that dude who's going to prove that there is no space and that the Lord made the firmament and he was going to go up there and touch it? He was going to fly up there in his rocket and he was going to touch that cake thing that goes over top of the earth that the Lord made, and he painted the galaxy on it. And this guy's like, y'all are full of shit. And he got in his rocket and he flew up to it. He didn't really have a plan on the come down. You got to have a plan on the come down, man. You got to.
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
It's just not don't make. I'm just saying.
And killing thousands and thousands of U.S. auto jobs. In addition to which you can't produce because you can't get the chips and you can't have, your supply chain is a disaster. The whole country is a mess.
Yeah, we don't got no supply chain. We ain't got no chips. We got no guacamole. We've been sitting here at the table. We got queso. Who needs queso without chips? And they ain't even giving us a spoon. Let me get in there.
Biden is a catastrophe for Michigan, and his environmental extremism is heartless and
I don't like it.
disloyal and horrible for the American worker.
Horrible. It's horrible, man. It's horrible.
And you're starting to see it.
I am starting to see it. I haven't seen it yet. I have not seen. Congrats, Michael, on your date with Henrietta. I hope you score consensually. And if you don't, you can get home and just have at yourself. And it consensually. Sometimes I play hard to get, but still, it's just tease. It's a tease. I know I'm always going to give in. Anyways.
Driven by his ridiculous regulations.
Terrible regulations. That whole thing about like clean water, clean air, not having lithium and cobalt in the rivers and streams.
Electric
Thanks, Brian.
cars will kill more than half of U.S. auto jobs and
More than half. Won't they create an equal half in the process? Because if you're, let's say, I'm trying to work this out. Let's say you're making a car and it's a regular old gas burning something or other that kicks up a storm and gives you a big vroom vroom when you're running down the quarter mile. And then they say, hey, you ain't Ficus, man. You ain't going to be making that car anymore. I'm like, oh, shit, I'm out of a job. And they're like, you're going to be making the same version of the car, but like super silent, like a ninja. And it just goes like that. And they won't even hear you coming up on them. And it goes 3 times as fast and goes just about as long. Now, you got to stop and charge it, which will take you longer than filling up your tank by about a half hour. But, you pull up at the right motel with a gas pump inside it, that's a good stop. I'm just saying that's way better than a magazine. And so, and then when you're back on the road again. I'm just saying, so technically, did you switch jobs or did your job get destroyed and a new job got created, or is it the same job with a different that used to go home and now goes woo? Is that, am I missing anything?
decimate the suppliers. That being decimated already. Decimate the suppliers, and it's going to decimate your jobs.
Oh, the decimation. I cannot even handle the amount of decimation.
And it's going to decimate more than anybody else. The state of Michigan, it's going to be.
That's where he is right now. I don't know. You may think this is just a crass attempt to appeal to the audience in front of him, but it ain't. It's a personal warning. He didn't even supposed to give a speech tonight. He just came up there to tell him. It's like he's not like a presidential candidate. He's like Donald Sutherland in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Only in reverse. Like it ain't too late. Never mind.
Decimation. It's going to be at a level that people can't even imagine.
I can't imagine it. You're right. Probably because it ain't happening. You know what? Soon as it happens, I'll be able to imagine it. I think.
Meanwhile, the cars don't go far.
They don't go very far. They go like 300, 400 miles.
The range is even worse in the winter.
That's true. When it's cold outside and you got to turn the heat on, I guess.
The materials are all made in China.
Really? All the materials, even the glass?
And it takes so much.
Where do they get the glass and frame and stuff for the regular cars then? Have we always been getting that shit from China?
Energy to produce the batteries that electric cars don't even break even environmentally for at least 5 to 10 years. They'll never break even.
Yeah, it says 5 to 10 years in the teleprompter, though, but that doesn't mean it's true. Just because it's written in his speech doesn't mean it's true. Who you going to believe? His speech or his wandering ramblings during the speech that contradict what's in the speech? You know what I mean? Like who are you going to believe, man? I don't get it.
Catastrophe waiting
Telling me.
to happen. And if somebody wants an electric
Why is it waiting, though? If it's a catastrophe, why is it waiting to happen? What's the fucking holdup? Look, Biden's in office. He's been in there for 2.5 years. What is the catastrophe waiting for? Besides you to get back in office, which I don't want to nitpick, sounds a little bit like you're the catastrophe. I'm just saying you could probably rework that in the speech.
car, I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation.
That is true. You should have lots of different automation. If you might have them big robotic arms that go bzz, bzz, and build a car, or perhaps a Lego-based system, or maybe somebody with just some hand cranks like some Amish dudes with some wood levering. All kinds of automation. He didn't mean automation, did he? He just said automation. But he wasn't talking about automation. What? Back up. You should have what?
And if somebody wants an electric car, I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation.
Who gives a shit how their car was built? And what does he mean? Locomotion? What does that even, I don't even, honest to God, like normally I'm here to translate Trump for y'all, but yawn with that one.
And automobiles.
I see. Oh, he fixed it. You should have your choice of different kinds of automation and automobiles, both or neither.
I'm all for it. But you should be able to have a choice of many different versions of automation and automobiles.
Both. You could maybe have an automotive that is automated, or an automatic, or a stick shift automotive that is made by hand. Maybe one of them kit cars. Just a fuck up, I think, at this point.
It's crazy what they're doing.
It is crazy. It is crazy that that you have to now specify the kind of automation that's used to make your car.
You know, in California, they're talking about all electric cars, and yet they're having blackouts all summer long. We have no electricity. Now they want to go all
I think you mean Texas.
electric. And, you know, some people want to be able to drive more than an hour and a half.
No, they really don't. Some people need to, but they don't want to. And by the way, maybe that's true. I don't know. But I would rather hear about that from somebody that can, wait for it, actually drive. Because I don't know about you, but I don't know when the last time he was in California is, so I don't know what the shit he's talking about. But also, he can't drive. He can't drive a car. He can drive a golf cart, but So can a 9-year-old if their legs are long enough.
The governor of your state is now giving away hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of Michigan taxpayer money to Chinese companies, and one in particular called Grosjean.
What's it called? Hey, say that name again. We're gonna have to look it up.
Of Michigan
Boo.
taxpayer money
Boo.
to Chinese
I'm not even a Michigan taxpayer. Don't like her.
companies, and one in particular called Grosjean.
Grosjean. That sounds like a company that makes them lights so you can grow weed in your basement.
To build batteries in Michigan. Now, it
Oh dear.
sounds good, but the money's going to Chinese companies. And then they're going to leave. They're planning to leave. You watch. They'll take our money, and then they say, bye-bye, you stupid fools.
Is it? Did they say it in Chinese, or is that like the only phrase they learn? Very weird. So they're just setting up a factory here, so they can pack up and fuck off. That seems rather. Why wouldn't they just deny the jobs in the first place instead of employing a bunch of people for a while, and then those people might see how they make stuff and then open up our own business making. Never mind.
That's good for China, but it's bad for America. It's bad for Michigan. And it's very bad for the unions. You know, I'm somebody that gets along with the unions. Actually, the top people are so in love with Democrats because they go to parties together and all. But the people.
That's right. They love to party with Democrats at the big Democrat party.
People that are in the union.
I don't know if you've ever heard that, but the Democrat Party is a giant fucking party. It's weird. That's all they do. They just party.
And they love me. You know, when I approved the Keystone Pipeline, I met the pipeline workers, and they were all for me. They were all for me.
Yeah, a good portion of them are Canadian, but okay.
But their leader was against me. He was
Justin Trudeau.
For Joe Biden. And this was the biggest pipeline, one of the biggest pipelines in the world. 50,000 jobs. And on day one, they terminated the Keystone Pipeline.
And yet, oil is cheap again. Weird.
I wonder how that man did. He didn't do too well. The head of the union it was a disaster.
I don't know what's his name. You met with him. You obviously know how he votes, how he is. What's his name? Tell us his name. You remember what his name is? What is it? You have the best memory and the best words, and you know everybody. Tell him. Don't be afraid. Tell him.
But
you're not afraid. What am I even saying? Trump ain't afraid of nobody. Okay.
You know, the union workers support me far more than they support Democrats.
Yeah, they just vote for Democrats, but they totally support you. On as viewers of The Apprentice, they didn't vote for you, but they liked laughing at you when you hosted that game show.
And they're great people, and they're talented people, and they've been treated very badly, and their leadership, they pay their dues and everything, and their leadership has treated union workers very, very badly, very unfairly.
How? Tell them how. You know, you read the whole thing. Hold on. I gotta, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna it's exhausting pulling my teeth in like that the whole time.
This maniacal push for all electric cars is killing the United States, killing Michigan, is a total boon for China. And it's because Biden is being paid off, we just found out yesterday. He's being paid off by China. He's been paid millions and millions of dollars in bribes. They're bribing him.
To treat them like shit?
And all of those people, see these people, they don't want to talk about it.
Yes, all these people in the Chinese, they don't want to talk about it because apparently he's defending Taiwan and killing their tech industry and driving their economy into the ground. So they don't want to talk about how much they bribed him because it makes them look dumb that they gave him money to treat them like that?
I just saw a camera go off right now. They don't want to hear about it, even though it's 100%. The reason that this has happened.
Boo, media who showed up to film this, who decided 20 minutes in that they're shocked by what he's saying, even though he says the same thing all the time, who turned their cameras off, who are not even... By the way, somebody took a flash photo of him. It reflected in the podium. That's what he saw, not... Cameras, they don't go... If it went out like that, it would have shorted out.
And the reason that all of these things are taking place with China and there's no retribution...
Yes, we need retribution. That's the important thing.
...is because he's being paid off. And you know who likes all-electric cars is the... You know the companies that do the best with all-electric cars? Do you know who it is? The tow truck companies. Those tow truck, and I love them too. I love them too. I probably won't get their vote, but I'll get everybody else's vote. No,
I get everybody's vote except the tow truck guys. Well, you don't give them any business because you can't drive a car. What?
Tow truck companies. Because they don't know where the hell to charge their car. They're in the middle of the country. Oh my, what do I do? Where's the charger?
Yeah, they have a map of all the closest ones and apps, and it's very... You know, you've been driving and you're running low on gas on a cross-country car trip, and you have to look it up on your phone, and you're like, I shouldn't be looking at this. I'm driving. That kind of stuff. Or you pull over and you're trying to find a gas station, and you blew off that last gas for 40 miles sign behind you, and you're like, fuck, I'm on fumes and there's traffic. What am I going to do? Yeah, your car does that for you when it's electric. It literally charts like, here's your last chance to get charged, and then you can do this here. Also, if you can just find any house with a plug, you have your little adapter, you can just and get your, hang out, make a friend, and then fuck off down the road. By the way, nobody at a house you would just kind of drive up to in an emergency would just have a gas can sitting around.
You know who boosts up the chargers? Huh? Do you know who does it? Oil and gas and coal. That's the one that boosts the charger.
That's the one that boosts the charger.
The whole thing is crazy. This country has gone crazy. You know, I said recently at a speech, I thought it was quite clever so far.
Nobody's else does.
Really mentioned it.
Right. You thought it was smart, but everybody realized it was dumb.
Because if I'm clever, they don't like talking about it. Although...
Oh, believe me. If you're ever clever, it'll be news.
We've been getting quite good reviews. We did a good one last night. Got a lot of good reviews. And the polls are the reviews because we're leading by so much. But, you know, I said the other day, we're like April Fool's Day.
Oh, this shit. I thought he's going to do the April Fool's Day bit.
Everything's the opposite.
Oh, my God. He's going to run through this whole shit, isn't he?
They want open borders so that people can flood our country. They come from insane asylums. They come from mental institutions. They come from prisons. They come from all sorts of places. We don't even know who they are. We don't even know what countries they're coming from. That's April Fool's. Who wants to know?
All right. No, it isn't. It's, I mean, you could say it was like a nightmare or something. I mean, it's fictitious and crazy. But that's not how April Fool's Day... Can you tell this asshole has no friends? This country has gone crazy. Yeah. No.
At some April, I knew an April once. I mean, I didn't really know her. I just grabbed her. I don't have to know her. All I need to know is she knew who I was, and I just start grabbing. And she was a fool.
Open border. We want people to come into our country. Rudy understands that better than anybody. But
why? Why would Rudy Giuliani understand that better, quote, than anybody? What? When has the border been his cause celeb? And like, he tried to get a handy from a woman he thought was a 15-year-old Kazakh girl.
They have to come in legally. The job you did in New York was so amazing. You don't get enough credit for it.
Yeah, stopping all those Mexicans from coming across the border from New Jersey. Swimming across...
What?
Give you a thumbs up. Not gonna pay you. Don't have the money. Not gonna pay you. But hey, me mentioning your name in many ways, isn't that better than money? Honestly, you could walk into any restaurant in the country that sells waffles and eggs and is open 24 hours. And you can tell them, I'm Rudy Giuliani. Donald Trump should have called ahead, and they will give you a free combo plate. Except they won't.
They want high. That's very impressive, Rudy, by the way. They want high interest rates.
No, they don't.
They want high taxes. They want to quadruple your taxes. Now, that's April Fool's. Who ever heard? You know, when I was growing up, every politician would say, we are going to lower your taxes. They say, we are going to raise your taxes.
Yeah, no. They the only people who would hear from Democrats, we are going to raise your taxes, is multi-billionaires. And, sorry, there aren't enough of those people to sway an election, statistically. And there certainly wasn't when he was growing up.
And they don't, you know, look.
Let me tell you a story. You guys want me to do the snake? I won't do the snake.
They also want no voter ID because they want to cheat on elections.
No, we want a federal ID that no state can take away, that works everywhere. We don't want different standards for what qualifies as an ID, but Republicans keep killing that because they think it's mark of the beast.
They don't want same-day voting. They don't want paper ballots.
Same-day voting, what the fuck do you mean? He means one-day voting. Same-day voting, you vote the same day you voted. Shit. Thank you, JD.
They never want any of that stuff because they want to cheat on elections, right? It's April Fool's. Who wants that? Who wants to cheat? Even 82% of Democrats want voter ID.
Yeah, we want a federally paid for ID that doesn't cost anything, so that people have an ID they can use as American citizens, period, end of story. And Republicans run interference on that because they insist that it is the devil's work. None shall do business without my mark. So they thought the same thing about the Social Security number.
They want voter ID. We want one-day elections. We want all paper ballots. We have to get back to it. You know, in France,
a country with 1/6 our population and 1/8 our voting public.
In France, I recently had an election, and they
used paper ballots, just like most of you did, because you used a screen, it printed out, you looked at it, you could check it, then you put it in a thing, and it tallied it, and then the paper version of it was stored until that time. They used a similar system. Also, all of them are tallied electronically, but who cares?
used to have mail-ins, and they gave it up because it was so corrupt. Because once it, you know, it goes through everything. Some people get 7, 8 ballots.
No, they don't.
But France gave it up, and they had an election, and they had 36 million people vote. At 10 o'clock, everybody knew who.
Yes, 36 million people. %10 of the U.S. population. 10%.
Won. It was a one-day election. It was paper ballots. It was.
This is like it was kind of like if you took Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Seattle, and you took their mayor elections and you swapped them together, you could
Voter ID. They had a winner. They had a loser, and that was the end of it. So crazy. What's happening to our country?
Ours just took a couple of days because we wanted you to lose big.
It's like April.
And you did, but we had to count it a bunch of times to remind everybody that you lost big. Thanks, Robin.
Fools, everybody. No voter ID. Open.
Okay, all right. I'm literally bored with this idiot. It's the same. How do the people who watch this not lose their goddamn mind? How? How is this not just brutally tiresome for them? Here's, let me see if I'm going to grab the other one real quick. This is the Faith and Freedom one.
Ladies and
gentlemen, I had a proud to do. This is the my Faith and Fascism Conference. We're here with all the great Christian patriots, both of them and the rest of you. And they're leaving. Okay, fine. Christian patriots have left the room. Good. We can speak freely about these nut jobs. Who prays? What a loser thing to do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, all hundreds of you. This is way better than a crowd of 65,000 in a football stadium, giving me the illusion of popularity when you're really all just gathering here because you hate immigrants. Now, if I may, let me go back to reading what I was going to read and gripping the podium like I'm about to throw up, and it's like a giant toilet.
Thank you very much. It's great to be back with so many proud American patriots who...
That's why I memorized this. I memorized the speech. I don't like... Normally, I would read this, but who needs a teleprompter when the love is so real? Am I right?
Michigan gave us Motown.
Yes, who would need that?
I had to beat off.
Believe in God, family, and country. Thank you very much. This is a great group of...
Thank you for believing in God, family, and country. All three things which are just code for me. Thank you. Just those are hashtags that actually mean MAGA for maggots.
And I want to thank a man of incredible commitment, vision, and devotion, Ralph.
Then do it.
Reed. And Ralph, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. Very interesting day to have a birthday because a big decision came down 1 year ago today. So that's very interesting. That's very interesting.
He'll be back. Trump 2024 limited bobblehead. The Trumpinator. The only upside to this is that he doesn't get a dime. But if I was Schwarzenegger, I would sue.
Let me also recognize...
Somebody just yelled, "You're the real president." Well, then, why is the country going to hell? If he's the real president, why is he secretly signing all this legislation? That's what you're asking?
Faith and Freedom Coalition Executive...
Faith in what? I'm sorry?
Today. So that's
Faith in Freedom?
That's very interesting. Let me also recognize Faith and Freedom Coalition
Freedom.
Executive Director Tim Head. Tim, thank you very much. Tim, wherever you may be.
Tim Head, is that your name or is that what you do? I kid. I steal a lot of jokes. I steal them mainly from the best. Andrew Dice Clay. The other ones.
Thank you, Tim. Great job. As well as Senator...
Great job having a last name Head and living to tell the tale.
Lindsey Graham. Lindsey, thank you very much.
Graham?
He's gotten
Sorry,
very
hold
much
on.
more conservative, I have to tell you. Carrie
that
Lake.
I turned this up as best I could.
Alveda King.
Alveda sounds like Velveeta, and you're smooth and cheesy, just like me. That's why I like
Wherever
you.
you may be.
Wherever you may be, probably in the fridge, although I don't think you have to refrigerate Alveda.
Alveda.
I think it's good at room temperature.
Frank Pavone. Frank, thank you very much.
Also sounds like a cheese. It really does. Pavone sounds like a kind of cheese.
Thank you.
Everybody up here sounds like a different kind of cheese except Reed, which sounds like a plant, but you're skinny, so it makes sense.
Thank you very much. And congratulations as well to Richard Viguerie on receiving the Defender of Freedom Award, a big deal, and to Mike Huckabee, my friend, for a long time, long time.
Long time.
Getting the Lifetime Achievement Award. I think he's better now than he was 20 years ago. You want to know that? I heard what he had to say, but he is not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Thanks, Mike, and thanks for being a friend.
What? I heard what he had to say, but he's not a good example of it, but you're in great shape? What? Hold on. Back the fuck up. I don't even understand what that meant. Hold on. Where's my cursor? There you go. Back up.
He's better now than he was 20 years ago. You want to know that? I heard what he had to say, but he is not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Thanks, Mike, and thanks for being a friend.
He's not a good example of it. You're in great shape. Did he say did he make a joke that he's old or?
And I also want to thank a great politician and a fantastic person running.
Christopher Columbus. Christopher. Huh?
For governor of North Carolina. His endorsement yesterday was amazing. Right? From North Carolina.
Yes, to be the governor of North Carolina and to actually be from there. That's weird. Notice Rand Paul didn't have to do that to be a senator.
Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson.
Oh, nice. He came all the way down there. I guess to get the nomination, like to get an endorsement from the lieutenant governor.
That was such an endorsement, it went viral. It was all over the world last night. I think.
But who is the lieutenant governor of North Carolina voted for?
He's going to do quite well. These young ladies followed me. I guess we have, 99? This is your 99th event. And they're
Yeah, I can't call them rallies anymore because they're not
from
really.
North Carolina, and they're incredible, and they're beautiful, and they happen to be rich, I think. But they're great, and
They have to be rich because they're at all these things. Who has that kind of money? I don't get a dime of it. They just fly around. I wish I owed Southwest.
he's going to do very well.
But I tried to buy it, and they laughed in my face.
Well, Mark, I think in North Carolina. Last but not least, let me say a very special thanks to all of you that are.
I don't know. I don't feel like letting him. I know I mean, I appreciate him asking permission. It's weird that he gives consent. You know, he asks for consent rather to say that. But I'm just not in the mood, I guess.
Gathered here, the crowd is incredible, and even outside, it's packed.
It's packed outside. Outside, I've never seen outside so full. It's so full out there. Outside feels like inside. It feels like inside. What?
North Carolina.
Outside is packed. Okay, that has to be a soundbite too.
Last but not least, let me say a very special thanks to all of you that are gathered here. The crowd is incredible, and even outside, it's packed.
I hate when outside is full.
So something's going on. We do have great poll numbers. You know, we just got some poll numbers.
We're doing great with the people in this room, but we're doing even better with all the people outside. The people who aren't here, the people who are no longer
The press
here.
wasn't that long ago.
27 to 23.
Right.
That was good. That was good. That's against the Republicans and beating Biden by 11. You say, why only 11? How could he possibly do so well? But it's a real mess. Our country's in a horrible situation.
Horrible. It's so horrible. It's terrible. I mean, can you imagine? It couldn't be worse. I mean, obviously, I could still be in the Oval Office. It would be even worse.
Since 2016, Faith and Freedom Coalition volunteers have knocked on 17.8 million doors, reached over 30 million Christian voters in their homes. And last year alone, you reached another 30 million voters.
Wait, do they only knock on the doors of people with 17 kids? That's not. It seems like an off-kilter number of doors versus Christians. I gotta say, maybe they're knocking on all the doors in a house. Maybe we have the place surrounded. Come out and take a pamphlet.
In their churches, incredible job that Ralph and the group do. No group has fought harder in defense of the Judeo-Christian values that we all stand for and
Name one. Just off the top of your head. Just a general Judeo-Christian value. I would love to hear, please, one of them, just your favorite one. Doesn't even have just one, just your favorite. It doesn't even have to be your favorite. Just the first one that comes to mind. What could that be? What's your favorite Judeo-Christian value?
polled, and no group will be more crucial to our magnificent victory on Election Day 2024. So important.
So important, and you can tell I think I'm going to win by how I move my jaw to the side, like I'm freaking out like Roger Stone.
That'll be the most important election we've ever had. I said it with 2016, but I say it with 2024. I think even more strongly going to be the most important election this country has ever had, because our country is going to hell. With your help.
They don't seem to buy it. They didn't all go, yeah. A couple people were like, oh, I don't know. I had a really, the hockey game was pretty.
We're going to evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we're going to take back our country, and we're going to make America great again.
Okay, so just wrap it up. I don't even know why that he shouldn't actually have to say any more for this crowd, right? He should be able to just say that and then go sit down.
And then Mussolini, and
Road to Majority, Washington, D.C., 2023.
For 7 years, you and I have been fighting side by side to rescue our country from evil and from the sinister forces who hate it. I believe they hate it. And
they hate the world.
I believe they actually want to destroy it.
They do. They want to destroy it. That's why they're building it up so that the crash is even bigger.
Now we're approaching the most important battle of our lives. As we gather today, our beloved nation is teetering on the edge of tyranny. I believe that, and you believe that.
And we all believe that, or we wouldn't be in this room. We'd be at home doing other shit. We'd actually have a life, maybe even be going to concerts. We'd be eating out with friends if we had them, but we don't anymore because everybody here is just, you're effectively like a Trump version of an incel. You're a Trump cell.
Enemies are waging war on faith and freedom, on science and religion, on history and tradition.
I don't know if you know this, but science and religion have, just historically speaking, not the best of friends. I'm just, heliocentric models being what they are.
On law and democracy, on God Almighty himself. They are waging war. That's not
on God Almighty, and they think they can win. They're pretty sure they can take him. They're standing there. They've got their dukes up. They're ready to go toe to toe with the big guy.
not a war they're going to win.
You don't think? No? You don't think, what if they, what if they really train hard? Sorry, this is so stupid.
The radicals are setting fire to our Constitution, abolishing free speech, attacking religious belief.
Because they won't let you install your religious belief into their households. Gotcha, okay. I don't mean, and by the way, I don't mean him. He doesn't have any. I mean the other people there.
Erasing our borders, corrupting our elections, and we have corrupt elections.
Oh, they're corrupt.
And trying to impose their blasphemous creed and woke communism on every American man, woman, and child. And that's what
they're doing. They're trying to woke communism, their blasphemous creed. Blasphemous creed. That was Apollo Creed's grandfather. That's probably who's training them when they go to fight God. Blasphemous creed. And then he gave then Apollo Jr., whatever his name was. I didn't see the movie because I don't like it.
Elections. And trying to impose their blasphemous creed.
Blasphemous creed.
Blasphemous creed. Oh, God. Of woke communism.
Woke communism on every American man, woman, and child. And that's
well, you gotta start somewhere. You can't just do the adults. You gotta get every baby. You gotta walk up and you gotta impose your blasphemous creed.
They're trying so hard.
They're trying so hard. They don't have to try hard with the kids. The kids buy it. But the adults, they're, some of them, they're old.
We've never had a situation like is going on.
No, we never had this. Not even during the Cold War. Not even when we actually had a functioning communist party in the country. Not even when the Nazis gathered together in Madison Square Garden. We've never had this. I don't know if you saw people. They gathered together there. It was like a Taylor Swift is getting people together.
Right now in our country.
Right now, Nickelback is touring. It's terrible. I don't know if you know this. They're Canadian.
But the people in this room will never let them do it. They'll never let them get away with it. And it's not going to happen.
No, these people will stop them because they're so popular and so interesting. Ralph Reed, Mike Huckabee, they can walk anywhere. People are like, oh, good, life of the party.
We will not waver in defense of our faith, our freedom, and our great American flag. They don't want the flag either. They don't want anything.
We don't want anything. We don't want the flag. We don't want the pole. We don't want the eagle. We don't want the ties. We don't want the red. We don't like the white. We don't like the blue. They don't like the stars or the stripes. They don't even like zebras. They don't even like those glow-in-the-dark stars you put on a ceiling. I've seen people do that. I wouldn't do it for my kids, but they do it all the time.
They don't want anything that's good.
Nope. They want all things that are bad.
They don't want anything that's good. That
They don't want anything that's good.
Oh God. Oh my God. They do.
They don't like any good things. They don't like fish delights. They don't like Adderall and benzos mixed together in a snortable powder. They don't like free pussy grabs. They don't like it. They don't like barging it on 15-year-olds when they're trying to chase. They don't like any of the fun stuff. They don't like Diet Coke. They don't like avoiding your children like they're the plague. Some of them do, but most of them don't. But if you don't, that's understandable. You might love your children, but if you don't, I hear you. They don't like anything that's good. They don't.
Oh my God. This dude. How is this? How in the world? What, maggots, what are you thinking? This is ridiculous.
And you wonder why and how did they ever get elected in the first place? It's
Because I guess more than half the country likes the bad stuff, and you know what I mean.
sick to get.
It's sick. They want sick things. They don't. They,
Together we're warriors in a righteous crusade to stop the arsonists, the atheists, globalists, and the Marxists. And that's
The arsonists, atheists, and okay, I'm glad he threw arsonists in there because finally we agree on something. I'm not pro-arson. I don't know about you, and I know I might lose my liberal card by saying this, but fuck arsonists. I think they're terrible people, and I think arson in its own right should be treated like attempted murder because it's a wanton, choice to endanger the lives of everybody, animals, vegetables, minerals. But I don't know that arsonist was in there. I think atheist was in there, and he just read atheist as arsonist. What do you think?
first place. It's sick. Together
It is sick.
we're warriors in a righteous crusade to stop the arsonists, the atheists, globalists, and the Marxists. And that's what they are.
They are. They're burning it down. They're burning it all down. They want to burn the Bible. They want to burn the marks off of everything. They leave little marks all over everything. It's the soot, I think, from the arsonists. That's where the marks come from.
And we will restore our republic as one nation under God with liberty and justice for all. The menacing specter of left-wing repression has been growing steadily for years and years. It's been
Mostly during my presidency. I don't know how that worked
Growing.
out. Maybe if I wasn't such an asshole, people would need to kind of overcompensate and pushing back on me. But I don't know. It's hard to say.
and we were stopping it very powerfully for 4 years, and now it's picked up at a level that nobody's ever seen before.
A level nobody's ever seen before. A level like nobody's ever leveled before. There's levels, a level like nobody's ever seen before. I can't wait till he's retired and doing ads for hardware stores. This is a level like nobody's ever seen before. Sorry. Very sorry.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I gotta.
First, they slandered Americans of faith as haters and bigots. Then they corrupted the media.
No. Just the haters and the bigots among them. I would notice we didn't just come over and kick people in the head who were praying by themselves or being nice or doing charity work. You don't see us shitting all over Jimmy Carter, a man of faith and works, do you?
They installed radical left judges to subvert our Constitution.
Yes, unlike what Trump did.
We're going to be appointing very pro-crime judges.
What?
They used the IRS to target conservatives. They spied on our campaign, and specifically, they spied on my campaign.
Not our campaign. I don't know who you other assholes are. My campaign. Back then, when I won, and I won, it was my campaign. Now that I'm losing, it's our campaign. Get it?
And we caught them.
But too late. We were caught him too late to actually do anything.
Terrible. Nobody would have thought. Could you imagine if it was the other way? Could you imagine if, let's say, I spied? Let's not use Biden. Let's use Obama. Let's say, Mike Huckabee, that you and I spied on Obama's campaign. Do you think it would have been fine? You know, this would.
Well, there would have been an issue in that there's no way you were elected by your voters without Obama being elected, because a big chunk of the response of the voters that came out for you is because of, oh my God, Obama.
We'd be away for a long time, wouldn't we, huh? They tried to take down a presidency with hoaxes and witch hunts. They're still trying.
And I tried to take it down with golf. I was just gone all the time. I hope they didn't notice, but they did.
But we wouldn't let them. And now
we wouldn't let them, even though, and by we, I mean now it's we, because the Republicans stopped me from being kicked out.
Joe Biden has weaponized law enforcement to interfere in our elections, the greatest abuse of power.
He started running early and after he knew he was going to be indicted.
That I've seen and that most of you have seen in the history of our country. It's a hoax.
Yes, and Joe Biden has been here for the whole thing, so he knows.
Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists.
Don't forget the arsonists. We forgot the arsonists. Fuck those people. They're mean.
Indict me. I consider it a great badge of courage.
No, it'd be a badge of honor. Courage would be if you took on something on your own. Your reaction to something isn't courageous. Your reaction to something is that you dealt with it with honor, but you have none, and apparently you're allergic to that word, so badge of courage. Look at his jaw. Oh, fuck this. Why am I even have to talk to these losers? Ayn Rand was right.
I'm being indicted for you, and I believe the you is more than 200 million people that love our country. They're out there, and they love.
They're out there. I'm going to get 200 million votes in the next election because these people are afraid. They're afraid they're going to get indicted for millions of dollars worth of tax fraud. And who among you doesn't have classified documents? Lots of them in your shitter.
I've been involved in the two greatest scams in American history.
I know.
This is a continuation of the greatest witch hunt of all time.
Well, at least he gives credit where credit is due.
Which has been fully exposed in the Durham report,
yeah, the Durham report. Man, that was a rocket ship.
The numbers should skyrocket downward.
Mm-hmm.
G report by Inspector General Horowitz did a great job on that report.
So great. It was a good report. It was concise. It got to the ending. The dirty pictures were great. I thought a centerfold was a good choice.
Look. And by great writers, journalists, and pundits all over the world. And its
all over the world, mostly in Macedonia, Russia.
Its primary purpose is exactly that, election interference. They want to interfere with the upcoming election.
Next year. Which isn't even here yet. It's a whole fucking year away.
They want to demean, insult, do whatever is necessary to interfere. And as you know, the fake news doesn't
demean, insult, and do whatever. Dude, it's only insulting because you're guilty.
Report on all of the things that you're reading about and hearing about. You're hearing about things that you can't believe, bigger than Watergate, bigger than anything we've ever seen. And if you look at the New York Times, or if you look at the Washington Post, or the mainstream media of any kind, ABC, NBC, CBS.
All they talk about is the fact that Russia was attacked by its own, eating up the news. It's a distraction from somebody not paying their taxes, which I didn't do either, but what are you going to do?
Not a word of it. Not a word. Not
a single word. No one even says a word. I mean, they ask him questions, and Biden says no, and knows a word, but whatever.
A little bit. They want to interfere.
Not even a little bit.
Worse than on a level like no one's before seen this before seen.
With the fair and free election to a point where Joe Biden is willing to arrest his opponent, who is leading him in the polls by a very, very large number. They lie, they cheat, and they steal. And this is how low they've fallen in an attempt to win the 2024 election. And we're not going to let that happen. We're
Nope, we're going to keep on criming.
not letting it happen.
Man, that side jaw, that's some serious Mimi Rogers shit right there, man. This is fucking, you can just tell he is not happy to have to tell this speech, say the same shit all the time.
Rig the presidential election of 2020.
Basically, every sentence I say is, I'm a loser, over and over again. So you don't get it all. I'm a loser, baby. So why don't you come and don't you do it?
We are not going to allow we are just not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024.
Yes, it'll be just like the one of 2020, unless I lose, which I will, and then we'll say it is.
Not going to happen.
Not gonna, no, no.
I don't read, obviously. Charging a former president who did a good job.
Did a good job. Not a great job. Kind of a half-ass job, actually. Phoned it in. Golfed a lot. Spent over 400 years worth of presidential salary golfing, but I didn't take the check. I gave it back so that they could afford to give it to my golf course.
A lot of people that were very happy. There are some people said it was the most consequential presidency.
Did they?
Charging a former president of the United States under the Espionage Act of 1917. That's like making nuclear weapons in your basement, isn't it?
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. It's like, that's what espionage is. Espionage is making nuclear weapons in your basement. Which, I don't know if that's a euphemism.
You could say it's a back door, but I call it a smart door.
For something else?
Drop your shorts and bend over, Mr. Babar.
Who can say, but...
I think people saw that loud and clear.
Agreed.
You know, if you're going to make something in your basement.
De-engineering.
You got to break it down. Who knows?
An act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do.
No, we've actually charged people with espionage and they've just gone to prison. We have gradations in this. We're not doing quick trial.
Is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever.
Aha! We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. It only took us, and we're good. We're almost on perfect time. 12 minutes and 54 seconds in. Congratulations. We have hit the magic word. Outrageous. That's right. Outrageous, ladies and gentlemen. Outrageous is the word that politicians use when they have actually, at some point, hold on, let me try. I should probably have a sound.
Where's Dick? Hi, Dick. Do we like Dick? Yes.
What?
Let's see. Hold on. This is thing. There you go.
I had to beat off.
We'll figure out what the game over sound effect is. But once a politician says the word outrageous, that is proof positive that everything they are defending themselves against or saying that they didn't do is completely true, that they are guilty as charged. Outrageous is the dead giveaway. That's the magic word. Say the magic word and go straight to jail. That's the thing.
I had to beat off. I had to beat off.
I don't
You
think
don't like
that's.
the gas.
I don't. This
Here
is.
I am like an idiot.
That's pretty close. That could work or whatever. I
They
guess.
said, oh,
I know that's true. It's right. Absolutely.
I was a private business people.
What?
I was a private business people.
Never mind. Okay. Yeah, so it's game over for you. You lose. No good. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. It's I need to attach that to a button so that I can just fire that off with a sound effect whenever it happens. Oh, you really watching from Ukraine? Who? Oleg well, welcome. Slava Ukrainian. And good for you guys. That is the key giveaway. Oh, look at that. This is perfect, Michael. You nailed it. You nailed it. Is something missing? You're missing two key pieces of type there, I think. It's okay. Happens to everybody. No harm, no foul. Try again. Retype it. Go for it. There you go. Fire again. Yeah, spell it Y-O-A-R. Yeah, or yeah, so the magic word whenever somebody like Trump says it is, of course, outrageous. Outrageous is the dead giveaway word. Anytime a politician, a politician of any kind, by the way, this is not just a Republican thing. This is not a Democrat thing. This is across the board. If a politician defends himself by using the word outrageous, it is an admission of guilt.
In your basement, isn't it? An act for a crime so heinous that only the death penalty would do is one of the most outrageous and vicious legal theories ever put forward.
Outrageous. So he knows he's guilty of at least the documents case. This may not be, he may have convinced himself that the Georgia case is nothing. He had every right to ask for those votes. He may have convinced himself that that him doing literally 100 times the tax and bank fraud that Hunter Biden has been accused of is somehow, like, by getting away with it, that makes him a better businessman. He can genuinely believe that. But in this case, when it comes to the documents case, which is what he's talking about in regard to this particular, to the Espionage Act and all that, he knows he's guilty, and that's the proof. That's how you know.
In an American court of law, it's a disgrace. And the people they have doing it are disgraceful. And just look.
Well, they would have to be if it's a disgrace. I mean, you don't want to farm that out to somebody who doesn't know what a disgrace is. That'd be outrageous.
Look at their record. Disgraceful.
It's disgraceful, apparently.
The Espionage Act has been used to go after traitors and spies. It has
yeah, okay. And?
Nothing to do with a former president legally keeping his own documents.
That's right. That's right. Which is not what you did. So, cool. Notice how he's, A, not saying any of this under oath anywhere, and B, not actually denying any of it.
As a president, the law that applies to this case is not the Espionage Act, as the lawyers will tell you, and they like to tell you, and the press doesn't like to write about it, but the courts of law.
The lawyers. You mean your lawyers, dummy. That's what they're supposed to, it's what you're paying them to say. The ones that didn't quit, anyways.
Law will see it, and they already know it.
No, they don't.
But the Presidential Records Act, which is not even mentioned in this ridiculous 44-page indictment of me.
Yeah, in 44 pages, they didn't mention it because it has nothing to do with the Presidential Records Act. This is about classified documents, and this is about a conspiracy to conceal and retain classified documents that you had no right to after you were no longer president. We don't have, like, king for life shit. That's one of the things that makes this country great legitimately.
I didn't know about that. When I graduated from the Wharton School of Finance, we didn't study being indicted.
How would you know? You're like 15th from the bottom.
Getting arrested, going to jail. We didn't know about that. They never.
Maybe you should have, because in terms of white-collar crime, I don't know. Maybe they could make Martha Stewart an adjunct professor.
Never taught us that. Under the Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal.
Right, which had nothing to do with this, as you stated earlier. So what the fuck is your point?
Done in 1977, civil. I had every right to have these documents, personal belongings in boxes.
Your personal belongings in boxes? We don't care about your personal belongings. Yeah, I would. By the way, thanks for being an idiot and making the distinction between these documents and your personal belongings, because they aren't.
Joe Biden didn't. Even Mike Pence didn't have that right.
Yes, they did, because of the executive order Obama signed while Biden was in office, allowing him the same declassification and classification powers as the president, as well as his cabinet heads, as long as they pertain to any of their particular cabinets. So Secretary of State could classify or declassify anything dealing with the State Department. Vice President had the same exact level of clearance as the president. If this fucker read anything, he would know this.
I don't read, obviously.
They weren't covered by the Presidential Records Act. I was, because I was president, but they weren't.
Do we have to do it again? Do we have to? Do we have to? Executive Order 13526, classified national security information. Classification standards. This is about what they are and who gets to do it. Classification authority. The authority to classify information originally may be exercised only by the president and the vice president. This stood the entire Obama presidency. Also, Hillary Clinton and others, agency heads and officials designated by the president. But mainly, the president and the vice president. Number one, together, on the same level. You big dummy. Why do we even have to revisit this? By the way, hi chat room. Do we have to, I have to share this shit around? This is, hold on. Whee! You guys are, it's a big chat room tonight.
So you should see, you know, it's so many people in the chat room. You should see who's outside. There's so many people who want to get in the chat room. They can't fit. There's no room.
Gave you an effect for the game over in Discord. Oh, thank you. That's fantastic. Hold on. Let me see if I can, we'll reach over here and, should I be afraid? Hold on. Let's see. 1 second. Visit this site. Top it a do. Go away. And then we'll take this and we'll see. Save as an MP3. Hold on. Download. Okay. There we go. We'll take this. That's great. I love that one. Well, hold on. I will move that 1 second. I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping. We'll do this. We'll go to here and we'll open up this guy and we'll take this guy. We'll copy this and we copy it and I will put it in my audio drops and I'll pop it right in here and I will paste it. And then I will create quickly as best I can in my Stream Deck. Let's see if I can do this real quick, if I may. We will create a multi-action. That's what I want to do. Put this in here. First thing I want to do is go to the OBS thing, and I will go source visibility. And with that, I will choose scene. I will choose comes, and I will choose, where is it? Game over. There it is. Put that on there. And then I will add that audio, let's see, in here as well. And then I will choose this and I'll go to audio drops and see if I can find this guy here. No, that's not it. Still an assets. Where'd this guy be? Oh, it's in, oh, I see. I want that in there. I want it elsewhere. I want this guy. Okay, put it in here. I think it's in there. Yeah, there we go. Then I'll take this and I will open it and we will see if it works. Hold on 1 second. Yeah. All right, I hear it. That's the good part. Okay, and then we'll, it'll be up when I come back on it. Yay, there it'll be. I'm gonna move this out of the way. Hi. And go back to Trump's full speech. There we go. Move this back over here. That's fun. And then I got to do a button that makes it go away, but I'll work on that later. Boink. But in the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get to use it again. I have no doubt. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. Backing up.
Presidential Records Act, which is civil, not criminal. Done in 1977, civil. I had every right to have these documents, personal belongings, in boxes.
Nope. Not the classified ones, stupid. I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's good. I'll make it a multi-action and so I can pop it out later without having to click on anything. Good times. Thanks. Thanks, CSL. I'm good. It's going to drive me crazy. All right, here we go. Oh, my space bar. Never mind. All right, we'll do that later.
Joe Biden didn't. Even Mike Pence didn't have that right. They weren't covered by the Presidential Records Act. I was, because I was president, but they weren't. But these scoundrels and thugs, they only come after me. They didn't go after the many, many other presidents that kept their documents. You know about it. many, many others. If you look at the Bush family, if you look at even Jimmy Carter, and I'd say he's innocent. I say Jimmy Carter's innocent.
He's just making shit up.
Everybody takes these things. They return them as soon as they have them, but I didn't do it because I had every right to do it. I fought the law, and the law won, and it shouldn't. It's outrageous.
But they went after me. They didn't go after anybody else. And they.
So what was the difference between you and all of those people that upon discovering that they had classified documents in their property and on their person or about them person or in their homes or whatever, they returned it forthwith and allowed a voluntary search by the FBI or by the relevant authorities to make sure that there were not other classified documents in the wind? You, however, engaged in a months-long conspiracy to lie to your own attorneys and hide these things.
They went after me criminally.
Because it's not having the documents, it's hiding the documents.
And it's not a criminal violation. It's not even a violation under the Presidential Records Act. And what
Not if you give them back. That might be the rub, dum-dum.
could be more accurate a statement than Presidential Records Act? That's what we're talking about.
That's what it says. It says I act like these are presidential records. I'm allowed to act like anything I want. I can't even act. You saw Home Alone 2?
People, can't tell if people are laughing at him or with him in that one.
Not espionage. It's not espionage. The crucial legal precedent
The French don't even have a word for espionage.
that is laid out in the most important case ever on the subject, known as the Clinton socks case. You know that? In his sock drawer. Socks. Let me give you a hint. It has something to do with socks. And in his sock drawer, taking things out in your socks.
No, it doesn't.
After leaving the White House, Bill Clinton kept 79 audio tapes in his socks and his sock drawer. So he put them in his sock.
His sock drawer.
In his sock drawer.
La-di-da. Pardon me, mate. I'll be in the drawing room playing the grand piano next to my sock drawer.
I didn't. I put mine in boxes outside of the White House, and the GSA picked them up and delivered them.
Wait, you have tapes? There's tapes? Why would you just tell everybody you got tapes, dummy? What tapes? Because the reason Clinton got to keep his is because they were recordings for his memoirs about certain things, and they'd been clear. You know, they obviously didn't violate any of the of his classifications because they were simply his own personal recollections, along with written, you know, like written notes on documents. And there was this difference. They fought it in court about whether or not, you know, if you make notes on government documents, the government has the right to retain those afterwards. But if you make your own journals or you record your own voice, you get to keep them. And the reason you get to keep them is has a lot to do, by the way, with your former AG, Bill Barr, who helped George H.W. Bush hide his journals that had evidence about the Iran-Contra affair that would have made him and Reagan culpable in this. And they were going to use it in the plumbers cases, but he was able to, you know, argue that these are my personal journalistic recordings or notes in this journal, and therefore they are not under the Presidential Records Act, nor is the vice president. Do I have to follow that? So these are just my own personal, like if you kept a diary, you don't have to turn the diary over. Same thing. By the way, and these aren't, Trump didn't write the attack plan on Iran.
Where there was
Trump didn't extemporaneously into a hand recorder dictate where our nukes should be parked.
supposed to be delivered. But they included in the Clinton discussions and the Clinton tapes a discussion of U.S. military involvement in Haiti.
Yes. After the fact and his own personal recollections about his decision-making process. Not the details about Haiti, you dumbass.
He can't get away from Haiti, can he? Right?
Well, once they did, it's fallen apart. Can I just say for the record, does anybody want to go and look at, they attacked the Clinton Foundation and they attacked the support for Haiti that the Clinton Foundation was trying to do. And then they literally shut down the Clinton Foundation because everybody goes after it and it can't function anymore. And everybody who works there is getting death threats all the time from QAnons. And then as soon as it shuts down, what happens in Haiti? How's Haiti doing right now? Again, this is like the Hunter Biden thing. You got to invest your money in Burisma. Do you do it before or after Hunter Biden is there? Sorry, it's, how do you pronounce
The
it?
Burmese executives. So this Burmese, they say, pronounce it Burmese.
Mm-hmm.
He's done very well with Haiti. Discussion.
He's done very well with Haiti. What, Hal Sparks, Wagner forces shoot down Russian airborne command post inside Russia. Is that new, Carl? Is that just happening? Yeah, Clinton Foundation is still working on the Clinton Global Initiative. Yeah, Wagner forces shoot down Russian airborne command post inside Russia. All right, hold on one second, because this might be our focal point from this point on. Give me 1 second. No, it's old? Okay. Because there is a bunch of, if I may, let's see, because there's so much moving parts in this. Putin's Russia isn't finished, any more dangerous. TV questions Putin response to Wagner rebellion. Putin addresses Russia. We talked about that. Criminal case against Prigozhin allegedly still open. Talked about that. Prick goes in, which is how they call what they call Prigozhin in Ukraine. Mercenary leader breaks silence as crisis tests Russia. Russia wants to stop Ukrainian offensive at any cost. Okay, good luck. Financial Times, will the Wagner insurrection affect the Ukraine war? Yeah. U.S. is preparing to announce a new $500 million military aid. Date is named. Some 153 Russian occupiers eliminated. 6 taken prisoner in Bakhmut. Patriot proves counter hypersonic capability, which is good. I'm running through some stuff right here. I'm going to check something real quick because there's so much going on here. Let's see. This is Zelensky says today is a happy day as Ukrainian soldiers make advances along all front lines. In his nightly address on June 26th, Vladimir Zelensky said the Ukrainian forces had advanced in all areas along the front lines where the country is conducting offensive operations. Today, our soldiers have made progress in all areas, and this is a happy day. I wish them much more such days. EU is increasing European peace facility by $3.8 billion. Prigozhin's plane flew from Rostov to St. Petersburg after the rebellion. Interesting. Did he go meet with Putin there? Is that where this all happened? Did he go there and fly him, grab him by the shirt collar? Ukraine awards $3 million in funding to tech developers working to counter Russian drone attacks. Bulgarian government approves military aid package for Ukraine. White House says sanctions against Wagner Group to continue. Of course, Russian security services threaten families of Wagner leaders. Oh, you know what? Let me show you. While Captain Gibberish is blailing around.
Of U.S. foreign policy, both the
it's blather and flail together, I think works. Let me see this guy. I want to show you the boy. Look at this. Okay. There is a let's see the most recent ones on here because this is some gnarly shit. Okay, here is this is the current state of Russian propaganda. This is
С чем мы имеем дело?
What are we dealing with?
Мы имеем дело с типичной махновщиной.
Typically,
Перед нами
people
батька
with Father
Махно,
Nestor Machno is in front of us.
который ради личных
sake of his
интересов
personal
готов
interests,
быть зелеными, с
He's willing to
красными,
take the
с белыми,
side
неважно
of
с кем,
greens, the reds, the whites, doesn't matter
своей
who,
собственной армией.
along with his personal army.
Гордыня,
Pride that moves
которая
these people is a
движет
deadly
этими
sin.
людьми, это смертный грех.
There is no price that can simply
Нет
pay
такой
off treason. That's a rough one. There is no price that can simply pay off treason. I don't know if these folks are ready to shrug this shit off.
Который просто так вот можно взять и закрыть за предательство. Не отмоешь.
It can't be washed off. Makhnovishchina is not merely a phenomenon of Father Machno.
Не феномен батьки Махно.
some Russian reference.
Махновщина — это феномен
It's a
слабого
phenomenon of a weak government.
государства, это феномен смуты,
It is a phenomenon of sedition.
это феномен отсутствия.
It's blocking. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm reading it to you. Hold on. I'll lift it up so you guys can see it. 1 second. That'll help.
Реальной сильной власти в
A truly
государстве.
strong state
Когда
authority.
можно многое,
When a lot
когда
is
личностям
allowed,
прощается то, что
when
они
personalities can
делают
be
такие
forgiven
вот
for doing this kind of wild
закидоны,
stuff,
без
without being
того, что
stopped
до этого
first.
их останавливают. Наша задача сейчас,
20 years the president has
20
been
лет
working on
президент этим
this.
занимается, из этого государства
Our goal
сделать
is to turn
сильную
this nation
страну,
into a strong
нормальную страну,
country. Yeah, any day now.
где такие вещи больше
A
не
normal
будут
country. That's funny. That's funny. He's a funny guy.
возможно.
Where these things will be
В
impossible.
сильном государстве не
This
может
couldn't
такого
happen
быть.
in a
В
strong
сильном
nation.
государстве есть
Strong
структура
nation has a
власти.
power structure. These guys are not liking
В сильном
this.
государстве есть ответственность. И здесь вопрос как раз,
Question is how we can
как мы
build
можем выстроить систему
a system
реальной
of real
ответственности
accountability,
сверху донизу.
top to bottom. Ooh, there's only one top. That doesn't sound good. He means Putin.
Когда такие вещи
When,
пресекаются в зародыш,
when these sorts of things are nipped in
когда
the bud,
невозможно
it's impossible to create this kind of media
нарабатывать
presence,
себе какое-то медийное имя,
and the
и
government is incapable of counteracting that.
структура власти не способна с этим бороться.
Unless we build a strong nation top to bottom,
Если мы не выстроим сейчас сильное государство сверху донизу, где это
will
оно
further the
будет
interests
подчинено
of a
именно
nation.
государственным
I guess whatever nation he's talking about,
интересам, интересам
this one.
страны, интересам народа, а не каких-то решал, которые
people,
между
not some
собой там
fixers
чего-то
deciding things amongst
выговаривают.
themselves. That means he's talking about Putin. This guy is it's one of the regulars on 60 Minutes. I don't know him in particular. We can't keep
Не можем мы
evolving
дальше
in this
так
manner. Like it's evolution. That's adorable.
Нам дальше надо
We should
великую
be building
страну
a great
строить. И
country.
вот
Yeah, like, too late for that shit, I think.
вчерашний день он показал, что
Yesterday has
народ,
demonstrated
он
that
за
the people
великую
are for
страну.
this great country. Is it? Did it though? Did it though?
Он
totally on the side of a
полностью на
president
стороне президента, который за эту великую
Who is
страну.
for this great country? Who would that be? Because apparently they're not enjoying, they're not appreciating, Putin's leadership skills right about now. I guess. All right.
А всех остальных надо просто убирать.
I'm having out of a popcorn with these Reese's Pieces. I see. Everyone else should be simply gotten rid of. Everybody, that's it. Just Putin, one guy running it, and everybody else got to go. Uh-oh.
Неумение со своей
Inability to live with your
гордыней
pride
жить отличает
separates a non-officer
не
from an
офицера от
officer.
офицера. Потому что у настоящего офицера есть
Hold on.
вещи, которые он никогда
There are
не
things a real officer would never do. I agree with those people who have given an oath.
с теми людьми, которые давали присягу.
They should look deep within themselves. Look deep within yourself, Clarice.
Взглянуть в себя и спросить себя,
And ask themselves whether they kept their
считают
oath.
ли они этой
I think the courts will probably just ask them. I think that's just easier, right?
присяге верны в тот момент,
And at the moment when the nation needed them most,
ждало.
just when I needed you most, you were miles away.
Морального
Right.
выбора. С
Their
кем
moral
они
choice
тогда
as to which side they're on. I don't know if it was moral. I think who was paying the bills, right? I mean, they're mercenaries. They really going to bring morality into it?
И та кровь, которая
The blood that was spilled was our own blood.
она
It can't be offset by the blood of enemies. Yeah, you can't get revenge against your own people for killing your own people by killing other people. Brilliant.
быть не может кровью врагов.
Look at they all look like they're at a fucking funeral.
50 миллионов брошенные с
50
башни,
million the $50 million that was rubles that was pompously offered
за
for
те
those pilots who have
люди,
perished.
которые погибли. Это не ответ.
That is not an answer. I don't know what that was.
Не знаю.
Yeah, so needless to say, these folks aren't having it. And then one of our favorites, what's his Philip Ittner's old girlfriend, She's having a rough one, too. This looks like Russian Jeopardy. CNN obtains the tape of Trump's 2021 conversation about classified documents. Oh, boy. Did they play it, Brian? They got it. Is it online or anything? That's going to be fun. Oh, and this is great because it is fucking dead silent. Like, I thought somebody had, like, taken the music out because they didn't want, some sort of copyright strike, even though I don't know why the fuck. Not Maria Butina, the Simonian, that chick. And Andrea, there's no /HalSparks on Foink.com. It's just Foink.com. Same thing with infotainmentwars.com, just so you know. You don't have to type extra. But you listen, you can hear his feet. Like dead fucking silent. They're just all quiet. You just hear him fucking breathing. Yesterday was a very fucking scary day. When your phone is ringing off the hook. Oh, I believe you keep checking your messages. You're being asked questions. Assuming that you know more than others. Even if you do know more than others. All information still has to be double-checked. At a time when information is constantly changing. So you may not know more than others. You might know more than others. I might not know what I even know. And I may know something I don't know. You don't know. Sometimes you know and sometimes you don't know. You have to be certain that you understand the general meaning of what is happening. You know, it's the one thing to be displeased with someone, I agree. It's something else to go against the country. Against the people. Against the Supreme Commander. Okay, Supreme Commander, enough of that shit. Elected by popular vote. Fortunately, they came to their senses. Yeah, after they'd shot down 3 aircraft and killed a bunch of soldiers and we had to blow up our highways. Then they came to their senses. The fuck kind of like cyborg butthole is this set? I feel like I'm playing Tempest when I watch this show. Watch when they cut the top. I keep expecting like a red spider to just go grow, 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 grow. Simonian, that's so true. She's not happy, guys. I was ready for the worst. All of us were. Wah, 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 wah. Can you imagine the horror that could have unfolded on the streets of Rostov? How they would be stoking the fire. Ah, Chechens are fighting Russians. Simonia. It would have been total trash. It would have been total trash. It's impossible to imagine. Chechens are fighting for Russia against Russian. That's how they would inflame it. But it's successfully avoided. Just with 50 million rubles and a promise to go live in peace, and you can just kill some of our soldiers and go live in another country, and we'll continue to pay you as a... Yeah, that's basically great. Thanks very much. Hold on 1 second. I'll pull up this kind of thing. Don't worry about it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring in I'm checking the tweet world real quick for the whole CNN tapes business. Ow. Werewolves London. Why the cancel culture? Oh. I'm looking for it. It should be in here somewhere. I'll find it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. CNN. Hold on. Lordy, there are tapes and you can listen. Oh boy. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Here, exclusive audio. Now playing. Okay, here we go. It's loading. 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 Doing my best. What is it doing? Reload. What's happening? Load back in here. There you go. It's going to ask me for seems to be. Okay, hold on. Maybe it'll come back in. There it is. CNN, Trump had. Okay, I'm waiting for it to load, and it seems to be taking its sweet time. I don't know quite why. Oh, I know why. Yeah, I know why. Hold on. Get back in here. I can hold on. Copy. We'll put it over here, and we'll put it in here, and we'll go to here, and we'll go to paste, and then we'll go to there, and this should play it relatively quickly.
You have obtained what is expected to be a central piece of the government's case against Donald Trump. The actual audio recording of the former president talking as if he's showing a high. Jurors will hear several people. This is the first time.
It started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, oh, you were.
Oh man,
These are bad, sick people.
That was your coup, you know, against you.
Well, it started right at the
like
beginning.
when Millie's talking about, oh, you were going to try to do a coup. No, they were trying to do that before you even were sworn in. That's right. Trying to overthrow your election.
Well, with Millie, let me see that. I'll show you an example. He said that I wanted to attack Iran. Isn't it amazing? I have a big pile of papers. This thing just came up. Look. This was him. They presented me this. This is off the record, but they presented me this. This was him. This was the Defense Department and him.
By the way, they're supposed to give you attack plans when you ask for them. Milley was concerned that he would actually use it.
Wow. We looked at some. This was him. This wasn't done by me. This was him. All sorts of stuff. It's pages long. Look. Wait a minute. Let's see here. Look at that.
Yeah.
I just found, isn't that amazing? This totally wins my case, you know. Mm-hmm. Except it is like highly confidential, secret.
Like they all saw the folder. All these people came in. They saw that top secret is written on it. They see the classification mark.
This is secret information. But look at this. You attack, and
Hillary would print that out all the time, you know.
They cut a piece out of that, by the way. That's what the ... is.
no, she'd send it to Anthony Weiner,
Yeah.
the pervert.
Please print.
By the way, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I was just saying, because we were talking about it. And, you know, he said he wanted to attack Iran and what? These are the papers. This was done by the military, given to me. I think we can probably, right?
I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to try to
Declassify.
figure out
See, as president, I could have declassified it. Now I can't, you know, but this is classified.
Now we have a problem.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's so.
Like the staffer's like, I'm great. I'm fucked now. Thanks, dummy. Now I'm a criminal conspirator or a material witness or both.
Cool. I mean, it's so. We here and I have. And you probably almost didn't believe me, but now you believe me.
No, I believe
It's
you.
incredible, right?
No,
Hey, bring some Cokes in, please.
Monty, this
bring
decision
some
means a new
Cokes
black
in.
majority black district.
Hold on. Yeah, that's. I mean, we have to figure out a way to declassify it now, right? Does Trump want people to believe it? His defense was that he believes that he had already magically declassified everything, but that's bullshit. But also that he was just talking about newspaper articles. He'd just done that. Strike likely whenever we play CNN. Yeah, so I tried to jump around in it. But we'll do that separately. We'll pull it down or what have you. Fair use. I should have put up a fair use thing. How about that? Retroactively. Yeah, you can't retroactively declassify stuff, especially when you're no longer president, you tool. And I'm very surprised at how clear it was. Fair use. That is, just because they have exclusive access doesn't mean it's their property. As a matter of fact, for the record, I'm commenting on the fact that they are limiting what they show and that there were edits in it. For the record. Yeah. Oh, and also satire. So buzz off. We'll have to put up a fair use sign right beforehand. Anyways, let's finish out these guys. Back to this miserable mess. It was a pre-planned media operation. There will be a separate investigation as to who planned it and how it was financed. Nothing in Russia can ever be solved without an uprising. Never. What? So you're for it now? Any attempt to organize a rebellion is a weakness. Or failing to put it down and having to pay the dude off isn't a sign of weakness, I guess. And not strength. I don't know, I guess if you... I don't know. Well, it's like anybody who beats me up and kicks my ass isn't strong. It doesn't take a strong person to kick my ass. The strength is in a Russian soldier. Or is this asshole hiding behind, like, ghost patriotism? When a Russian soldier makes a mistake, note that the Supreme said through Dmitry Sergeyevich Peskov that he won't prosecute the heroes who made this mistake. Because Prigozhin's a decorated war hero. They've given him a bunch of fucking medals. Made this mistake out of respect for their accomplishments. Whatever. But there's an expression about that. Thank you for yesterday, but be accountable for today. So remember that, Trump, when you pick up the phone and somebody says that with a weird accent. Everyone will have to draw the right conclusions. This guy, look at these dudes. They look like they're staring at the corpse of, like, remember, on today's game show, Russian, truly Russian or death? Anybody who isn't truly Russian is dead as fuck, like that guy right there, your old friend. See him on the floor there? Yes. You're next, if you fuck up. Okay. But, all right. Do I have to look happy? Of course not. You're Russian. All right, here we go. Those guys are holding up the line at the front with 25,000 with heavy equipment, with anti-aircraft systems, on more than 1,000 vehicles. They didn't march on Kiev, Lviv, or Warsaw. Warsaw? You fucking Poland out of this. He says that very quietly. It's very weird. While their comrades along whom they fought, shoulder to shoulder for all those months, stood there holding the front lines. And the mercenaries left. And 156 times, so everyone understands. I will repeat. Russia above all. Great. Okay, just do some major kiss ass, because you're probably going to have to say something that's going to get you in trouble. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. Hi. I do these things long form, because I'm the only one who does it. Yes, we were cruising the Volga River. We were having a Russian party with people who can afford to eat. My phone is blinging right now. I'm sorry. I have a little alarm set for every time we find one of the Wagnerites that snuck away and we snuff him. Anytime a bell rings, a Wagnerite meets cement. We get back to an armed mutiny in Mother Russia. At first I thought I was dreaming. I thought this could not be happening. I live in the game Tempest. Sorry, I can't not think that. This is such a deja vu from 1917, when I was also alive, because I am vampire. Listen, this just happened. World War I just happened. It just happened. We almost won, but mutiny happened. Right at that moment. Because of that, we lost World War I, lost our territories, destroyed and lost our country. What again? For the third time in 100 years? Yeah, maybe it's you. I don't know. You've been... Look, if you're going to be a 300-year-old vampire and run a country, maybe just hand it over to somebody else at this point, I think. Nothing more frightening in the world than civil war. Nuclear war, I think, probably never mind. When all of us, normal people, say about Ukraine and the situation with NATO that we are for peace after victory. Bullshit. Peace through obliteration, and that's when we are fighting against an enemy. There can only be peace with an enemy after victory. But when you're fighting against your brother, there can't be victory for anyone. I think the Wagnerites would disagree. Brother against brother is war. Yeah, but what if one person's like a rented brother, like he's only paid to be your brother? It's like brother on stepbrother, sort of. It's like brother on male escort about your brother's age that I just grossed myself out. I'm sorry. Without the possibility of a victory, we should always remember this. The last thing I want to say, if there are many discussions right now, how can this be? They opened a criminal case and then let them go. He went to Belarus. This is a mockery of legal norms. Yeah. And? Yes? Let me remind you that legal norms aren't like Christ's commandments or the law of Moses. Yes. The laws are meant to be broken. Legal norms are written by people. Sick people, disgusting people. To protect order and stability in a country. And if sometimes you have to selectively do the laws so that you could stay a semi-criminal oligarchy, so be it. There can be extraordinary, critical circumstances when legal norms cease to perform their function. Yes, like when somebody kills 12 of your soldiers, shoots them out of the sky while trying to take your capital, and you got an extra 50 million rubles sitting around. Of protecting order and stability, and are doing the opposite. Then these legal norms are set aside. They were written by people who did not foresee the possibility of this kind of a situation. It was a choice between terrible and the horrendous, right? It's no choice at all, really, honestly. There's nothing more frightening than civil strife. Particularly not a violation of some legal norms. Look, if we can stop a civil war by paying off the other side and letting them go live in Belarus and go kill Africans, win-win, I say. You know, now that you bring it up, thanks for saying the thing that they mailed you a thing to say. When the day ended, a lot became clear about many. First of all, we found out a lot about our own country, about ourselves, and about the people of Rostov-on-Don cheering the people who were on their way to attack the capital. That was weird. We turned out to be much wiser, than anyone might have thought. Why? Because your soldiers were like, let them through. Fuck it. Look at them. None of them buy it. Yeah, I totally believe it. You need to try harder. Our country can have any government except for a weak one. Yesterday, our leadership demonstrated both strength and wisdom, country and Western. But most importantly, it was strength without a bloodlust. You know, for me, what happened yesterday, was completely surreal. Totally agree that the decision that was made, perhaps the only correct one. Nonetheless, I believe that somebody has to be held accountable for the deaths of the pilots who have perished. Everyone is expressing their opinions. And I'm fairly convinced that during wartime, traitors have to be destroyed. They have to be destroyed. They just gotta be destroyed. I think it's really... Today, no matter who says what, honest to God, whenever fairy tales they're telling, Simonian, why is their phone ringing? Sorry. A bullet in the forehead is his sole salvation. I mean, that's really... Do I have to, seriously? For Prigozhin, for Utkin, bang, zoom. Really, they know me. They know I stand behind my every word. There's no other option. The war is touching the entire country, and unfortunately, you should get ready for anything. You'll be able to shoot these guys in the forehead. That's that. Unfortunately, I don't totally understand why it even happened. Honestly, where are those agencies that should have known about this in advance? I mean, to warn about it. I mean, the Western... The fuck? Man, I miss the Trump years. He totally would have given us a heads up. As just to intervene while it was underway. I mean, what? Treason can never be forgiven, guys. I'm telling you, under any circumstances. Okay, it simply cannot be forgiven, regardless of any past achievements. I don't care who you are. Bang. I'll repeat it once again. The only way out for these friends is to kill themselves before a bullet finds them. Oh, well, I'm getting the feeling he's not standing behind the deal. So you're saying it's not a done deal, or there are no other options for traitors? And then just silence in between. Well, thanks, Buzzkill. Fuck. All right, well, I guess we could have tried to end on... So I guess you're not going to play the happy song like they do on Hal Sparks' radio show? No? That really helped. It was kind of miserable. Just saying. Anyways, boy, oh boy, it's just... it's kind of a downer. Just not... just afraid people will get the idea that Russia's a depressing place, you know, but anyways, I guess you had to be there. So who's the Jesse of Russia 5? Yeah, that's him. That said, I gotta race off. I went long a little bit tonight, but we had a lot to cover, and I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. And then Wednesday, Philip Bittner's going to be joining us, and then of course I'll have the afternoon show. I will be in fairly certain, if I can check the calendar right now so I'm not completely off, like a crazy person and I'll do anything. I'm fairly certain, okay, is that I will be at Flappers Wednesday. Let's see. People know my schedule better than I do without me having to look it up, but I'm pretty sure that's our last Wednesday. Comedy Club. There we go. Everybody else is looking it up faster than they are, aren't they? It is this Wednesday, yeah. Shows, just checking to make sure, confirming. Hold on. Schedule tonight. Is it next week? Hold on. Am I drunk? Full calendar. Where is it? Yeah, Wednesday. This Wednesday, 8 o'clock. There it is. I was like, why am I not seeing it? Yeah, this Wednesday I'll be at Flappers for sure. I want to hear Hal do a Dangerfield impersonation. I usually don't do comedians. The only one I do is Bobcat because he doesn't do it anymore, and he wouldn't. So there you go. But tomorrow, regular show. Wednesday, regular shows, but I will be bugging out early to go do stand-up. And then, of course, our patrons will get to see a live comedy show. So patreon.com/HalSparks. Don't forget to subscribe and all that stuff. And remember, don't leave anything
in his sock drawer.
Don't do it. It's a bad idea.
Action replays in magnified fortune.
That's right, because sometimes...
Even brought a safecracker.
That's right. You'll have a hard time getting it out. So much love, and I will see you guys come the morning or afternoon. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Yeah, see you in the afternoon, regular time. And one more thing.